We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because I probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Vermont. And this is an unbelievable occasion here as USL League Two's season will end here tonight with one of these two teams, Vermont Green FC or Ballard FC, hoisting a championship trophy. As you look there, a live image of Virtue Stadium, Virtue Field in Burlington, Vermont. Alongside my broadcast partner, Ryan Glinsky, I'm Jonathan Turner, bringing you into our Shelby Township studios here back in Michigan, and it is going to be a great game. We have had a chance to talk with the league throughout much of this week, and you talk about what's coming up tonight. Two teams who, again, got started back in 2022, one of which, who's already been here before, won a national championship back in 2023. And then here we have Vermont, who again also was founded back in 22, their first attempt here in a national championship game, and both have a very unique path getting here.
Yeah, Ballard, 2023 national champions, and then 2024, they lost in the round of 32, and that's what's fueled them to get to this point. And then going over to Vermont, this state is used to winning championships. You got to go back to their Division I men's team winning the national championship this past year, and now Vermont, their pro team, has got a chance to win it today. They could sweep, some soccer championships this year. But both of these teams have been battle-tested, and in the last games, there was tons of drama. Vermont winning in a PK shootout, and then Ballard being down 1-0 against Flint, coming back with Kosakov scoring 2 goals, and they won it 2-1. So both these teams are battle-tested, and it should be a fun one.
It should be a fun. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We'll take some highlights. We'll take a look, obviously, what's going on back in Vermont. We were going to hope to have some coach interviews, but there's a watch party taking place right now in Ballard, in Washington. We'll put that up on your screen right here. There it is. As you can see, as these players and these fans are getting excited for this matchup here tonight.
And that's what it's all about. That's what sports are all about, bringing a community together. We've seen throughout these playoffs the community bringing everyone, these teams bringing the community together for these watch parties. Enjoy a couple beverages, have some food with the fans, and just make it one. And the community is loving it, and these teams bringing everyone together, and you just love to see it.
This USL League Two final is brought to you by Venture HR. We have a lot more coming up here on this pregame show, so don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll dive into this match. We'll look at each team's a comparison and so much more. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the USL League Two pregame show presented by Venture HR.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
Welcome back here into the USL League 2 final pregame show presented by Venture HR as we look as the crowd is making their way in to Virtue Stadium there in Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky giving you a preview of what's to come here tonight. And we talk all the time about this type of a game and how important it is. When you start talking about having a sold-out crowd that you're playing in front of and what can come from the emotional component that both these teams are facing here tonight, it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Vermont team is going to have the home crowd behind them. And going back to Ballard's last game, they had the home crowd behind them over there in Seattle. Will the crowd play a factor in this game against Ballard? Vermont, of course, being the home team. And Ballard, they kind of used the crowd to their advantage in that last game. They started off the game against Flint City relatively slow. Flint was probably the better team in the whole game, but Ballard made the most of their chances, used the crowd to their advantage. They had fans in the woods, on top of rocks, in the trees, but they got it done in the end, and we're going to have an exciting one, but that Vermont crowd should play a factor in this one.
It should. We actually saw some of what was going on with the Vermont crowd as well. I saw some social media posts of fans grabbing ladders to see over the fence in that game last weekend. So, again, we talk about these two teams. You know, Ballard, again, they've been here before, and they were hosting at home on the West Coast as well back in Seattle, Washington. And, again, if we look at that game against Flint City, very reminiscent of what we saw back a couple years ago when they won their national championship, right? They had seen Flint in a national semifinal. They had won that game 1-0, and coming away in this game, again, very gritty game. Kostakov having two goals, right? We saw both those goals in the second half.
And then got the ball
it started off with
Ayala.
Donovan Phillip putting one home, putting it in the back, and then giving him a 1-0 lead again. And then again, we saw. But really, who is going to be this player tonight that's going to step up here for Ballard? We've seen it time and time again. Kostakov. We've seen Ahman. We've seen a number of players, and Ahman has been fantastic as well throughout this playoffs. And so we look at this Ballard side. They are gritty. They are tough. They've been here before, and they are now the new gold standard of League Two. We've seen it time and time again from the side.
And that's weird to say that they're this standard, only being around for just a couple of seasons, and they already have a championship on their belt. But this Flint game was phenomenal to watch. Flint was all over Ballard for a while, and then Kostakov had two chances, put it away. And that's all you need is a couple of chances, and you make the most of it. And my player, I would have to say it's got to be Kostakov. He's been phenomenal all playoff long, all season long, and those two goals. There was a little bit of luck in that second one as it took a little bit of a deflection, or I think maybe the goalie was screened a little bit. Pardon me on that one, but again, Kostakov has been the main guy all year long, and he's going to have to deliver once again if Ballard's going to want to win another championship.
That he is, and again, you know, when you're talking about playing at home, there's something to be said, obviously, about that component. And this is the first time that this playoff run that Ballard will be on the road, and obviously traveling across country into Vermont, into a dangerous territory with this very emotional and large crowd you see here. Again, just a phenomenal environment that they're about to go into. And again, talking about their players, right? We've got Zunge, right, who's been phenomenal for them as well throughout this season. You know, he comes in with 8 goals, 2 assists, a big part of this side. And again, these players will make the difference tonight. But at the end of the day, this will come down to who wants it more, and on this night, who makes one less mistake than the other team.
Yeah, and sometimes you see in the finals is that teams kind of play like a shell of themselves. They don't want to be the team that makes that mistake. You don't want to be the team that is playing to not make a mistake. You want to be the team that is going for it time and time again. You don't want to just sit back and defend for 90 minutes and hope you can sneak a goal in or maybe force it into a PK shootout. We've seen Vermont, they went down, there was 0-0 last game for them, and then they won in a shootout. But you don't want to just sit on your heels for the entire 90 minutes, maybe 120 to get the shootouts. You want to keep going for it, and both of these teams have been battle-tested. They've played in tight games all playoff long, all season long, and you look at the last 3 games for Ballard have all been decided by 1 goal. It's all been 2-1 outside of the game against Colorado Storm where they won 6-0. And then for Vermont, they've had Motown was a 1-goal game, and then Dothan, of course, in PK. So both these teams are battle-tested, and it's going to come down to who's going to make that extra run, that extra pass, or maybe a tackle to kickstart a counterattack and finish it off for someone.
Yeah, let's take a look here now on your screen. We're going to put up our match comparisons, talking about both these sides, and take a look at them a little bit, again, on right there on your screen, a comparison of how these teams have kind of shaped up throughout this season. And we talk about this, very similar in their makeup. Both teams have played 18 games, 15 wins for Vermont, and 13 for Ballard. The key here, though, is where, again, the goals, right? 38 goals for, 36 goals for Ballard. The differential, though, look at that, plus 30, plus 29. Both these teams know how to score goals, and they know how to defend.
Yeah, absolutely. In Vermont, they had one of the toughest defenses they had to break down in Dothan. I believe Dothan had about 4 or 5 goals given up the entire season, and they were unable to crack it down. So Vermont is used to playing against tough defenses, but Ballard as well. They're a tough defense, Vermont, and that's what you want to see in a championship game. Great offenses versus great defenses, and both of these teams have that. 36 goals, 38 goals, 8 allowed, 7 allowed. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a blast. When we come back here, we'll continue talking about this matchup. We'll even talk about the starting 11s for both sides. A lot more coming your way here on the USL League 2 National Championship game presented by Venture HR.
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, Nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.
We're an environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint, and when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
Another live look there at the watch party. The Bridge Keepers, right? The Ballard FC watch party back out in Seattle, Washington. And again, as a newcomer, they have a tremendous following and done a fantastic job of growing their fan base and giving their team that edge that is so important when you talk about home field advantage.
Yeah, fans have given the edge for, across all sports, across all levels. whether it's high school, pro, college, anything. The fans are what gives maybe that extra little bit of oomph, that little bit of edge to any team. And Vermont the fans might be a factor in this game to give Vermont that extra edge. Right when Vermont players might be thinking they might be down 1-0 and a couple minutes to go, they might be thinking it's over, but those fans encourage them, getting them going. We've seen it time and time again throughout the entire season, Vermont in close games, and they somehow get a result, whether that's a draw or a win.
As they were getting obviously really excited about being back there in Seattle, Washington. We will try to bring them in throughout much of the game here tonight, as kickoff is just about 15 minutes away. And when you talk about a chance to hoist a trophy, again, you talk about how you got here, right? And if we take a look how these teams got here, we'll take a look at the USL League 2 championship playoff bracket that's happened throughout, obviously, this playoff run. You know, it all started for them, obviously, in that West Coast. They're in that Western Conference. Eastern Conference is Vermont. You see there, you know, in that first match that they played, they beat Colorado Storm 6-0, right? Mm-hmm. And then they went on and they took on and they beat Snohomish, right, 2-1. That game back on the 20th of July. They beat Ventura County Fusion in that quarterfinal matchup. That was a rematch of 2023. That game took place at Atwood Stadium here in Flint, Michigan. And then, again, a rematch against Flint City Bucks, which, again, you could argue, right, that maybe in that game, they might have been the underdog. And understanding what took place here a couple years ago, you know, that maybe the edge emotionally might be in favor of the Bucks, right? Again, you talk about, hey, they were at their home field, they got beat 1-0, then they went on, they won the national championship, right? And now here you have Flint traveling into you know, enemy territory, and they come out with a 1-0 a lead there in that second half, and then ultimately scoring 2 unanswered goals to take that win and push themselves into a national championship game. So it's a phenomenal story for Ballard. And then we flip over now, look at Vermont. Look what Vermont did, right? Vermont, starting off, they beat Hudson Valley 4-1. Then they beat FC Motown back on July 20th. They did that by a score of 3-2. Then in overtime, that game was tied 1-1. They scored 2 goals in extra time to beat Lionsbridge 3-1 on Friday the 25th. And then the game went into penalties, right, against Dothan, where they won 4-2 in penalties. And we talk about that game. In those 2 games, if you think of how much time they played, right, 120 minutes times 2. Right, they played 240 minutes in their last 2 games. This team, I'm curious, even with a week's rest, is that going to be something that we can look at as a factor of, hey, is there fatigue? Is the recovery where they need it to be after playing so many minutes in their last 2 matches?
Yeah, there's something to be said about that, but, you know, they're still at home. They had the home crowd. They had a short distance. If anything, we may have to look at Ballard with their fatigue traveling on the complete other side of the country. That might play a factor with some legs on the fly over or anything like that. And you know, also the time zone difference may play a factor as well. 3 hours behind is Seattle compared to Vermont, so that might be a factor. I think if anything, the fatigue factor might be in Ballard's favor. You know, traveling in the time zone difference. I know Vermont has played more minutes and a lot more game time. But that might also be a benefit to them. They know how to win in extra time. They know how to win in shootouts. But maybe the fatigue from flying over and the time zone difference might play a factor for Ballard. This game is kicking off, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And in their heads, it might be 4 p.m. in Ballard's time, you know, being over in Seattle. That might play a factor as this game goes on.
It most certainly could be. But we're going to step aside here for another quick break. We come back, we'll talk starting 11s here, and even talk predictions. You're watching the USL League 2 National Final Pregame Show, presented by Venture HR.
We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go, because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
At Vivid Coffee, every cup starts with a commitment to people, to planet, and to the future of coffee. We travel to origin to build lasting relationships, pay premiums to producers, and source coffees that are as sustainable as they are delicious. Brew better at home. Subscribe at vividcoffee.com and get ethically sourced coffee delivered to your door. Use code UPTheGreen for 15% off your order. Vivid Coffee, fueling Vermont Green's unbelievable season.
We're an environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint. And when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, it's certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
Twin State Basements is here with waterproofing and foundation repair services, providing lifelong repairs to your basement and foundation. Transform your basement from this to this. A clean working basement, certified, bonded, and insured. Twin State Basement Services has the expertise to address various basement and foundation issues, from sump pump installations to crawl space repairs and foundation replacement. Twin State Basements guarantees a dry, safe, and healthy basement. So if you've got leaks, don't wait. Call Twin State.
And we are back here in Virtue Field in Burlington, Vermont, as everyone's getting ready for this national championship matchup taking place here tonight. You think about how many games took place here this season. 143 teams throughout, played in the USL League 2 this year. 894 matches, of which most teams are 12, 14 regular season games. You think about playoffs. I mean, a lot of soccer taking place. Now, we've talked about the USL League 2. It's in its 30th year, right? And I've had a chance to cover every league at the amateur level in this country in some way, shape, or form. And I can't say enough about how well organized, structured this league is as professional as you can get from top to bottom.
Yeah, this is the first year I was introduced to this league, and it's been wonderful to see all these teams battle it out. And I thought maybe there might be a little bit of a drop-off compared to other leagues, but no, the talent from top to bottom, all across the board, from the starting 11s to the subs and the reserves, is just wonderful because some of these players are playing high-level college of some sort.
Absolutely. We want to dive now into the 11s here. Who's going to be on the field here tonight for both these sides? We are going to start with the away side in Ballard FC. Ballard, again, coached by James Riley. They will be in a looks like a 4-3-3. Again, Stockton Short in their goal again. He has been phenomenal all season long. They've had in total this season, including the playoffs, 10 shutouts this season. And so, again, a phenomenal. You see Kosakov right there up top, Amen out wide. Dale was very, very good in that last matchup. And their back line of Ingman and Zem, they are very, very good.
Yeah, their back line from all the way to the midfield and to the attack is phenomenal. And, the old saying goes, defense wins championships. And Ballard's got a great defense, but that attack, Amin, Dale, and Kosakov, that front three is going to give Vermont troubles, and they're going to be dangerous.
Now look here at Vermont in goal. Nicholas Herseg is in goal here once again. This looks like obviously another 4-3-3. We talked about it before about Zengu and how good he's been this season. Look up top there. You got Hall, Tadavin, and Abbey in the lineup here for Vermont Green. Again, this is at Virtue Field at the Archie Post Athletic Complex.
Yeah, and Herseg, he was a part of that Vermont National Championship team, so he's used to playing in big games. There's a total of 4 players from that team on this Vermont Green FC team, so they have talent, or they have experience in winning championships. But Zengu, he's the guy that we're going to be looking for. He controls everything in the middle there, and he scored 8 goals from midfield. That's just impressive in its own.
That it is. And so now's the time for us to talk about who you think is going to win this game tonight. Now, obviously, back at home, those watching on Sports Engine, you're there in Ballard, we know who you're rooting for. But prediction-wise, looking at this matchup, looking at these two teams, who do you have coming out here tonight on top?
For a prediction, I think it's going to be Vermont Green. I'm going to go 2-1. Both of these attacks are too good to be silenced for a whole 90 minutes. Both teams are going to score a goal. I'll say that to least, but I think that Vermont crowd, sold-out crowd there, I think it's just going to give the edge to Vermont Green. I think the travel from Ballard FC might be a factor as well. So I'm going to say Vermont wins it 2-1, and I'm going to say they're going to do it in 90 minutes. I don't think they're going to go to extras.
Well, nobody wants that anyway, so I'm nobody wants extra time, right? Well, here's my prediction, okay? And I know that you're going with Vermont, and I can appreciate that. You're talking about the home field. You're talking about that. Obviously, the odds are stacked against the Ballard, right? They had to travel across the country. They had to do it, and they're doing it here in very, again, dangerous territory, enemy territory, as we said before. But my money tonight, I'm not betting any money, just so to be clear about that, but my money tonight is on Ballard FC. I know I'll make the crowd back in Washington hopefully a little happy with me, but I have my Ballard FC. I have them winning this game by a score of 1-0. So that's my what I believe my prediction is going to be here. But hey, that's the end of our pregame show here tonight. We'll be back for the halftime. We'll be back at halftime. We'll talk about that first half. We'll have first half highlights. We'll be back after the game as well for post-game coverage. So a lot more coverage coming your way here tonight on the USL League 2 National Championship night, presented by Venture HR. But for Ryan Glinsky, I'm Jonathan Turner. We'll be back here for the second half. For a halftime break coming up here at the start of the game. Kickoff coming up next.
We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because I probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' shake.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I made the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
I am the sauce.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I got the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.
David Goss and Matt Montel with you here in Burlington as we get ready for the USL2 National Championship between Ballard FC and the Vermont Green. Matt, this is a moment very few of us have ever seen. This is a special moment for soccer and for Burlington.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to pinch myself like every once in a while just to come to terms with what I'm witnessing just all around me, this 360 view of fans just absolutely stacked across the fields, across the stands themselves, and then over, you can't see it maybe from one side, but over towards like the scoreboard itself. And I've never seen this many fans at Virtue Field. Even, when UVM was successful for it, maybe it was the weather, whatever it is, probably has a little bit to do with summer. The weather's beautiful. We've been blessed this entire summer for it, but it feels like the whole town's out here.
It is something that I have seen a lot of soccer around the world and in this country, and maybe have never seen anything like this. Ballard FC's experienced it in Seattle, and now they get a chance to fly cross country and do it in Vermont against this Vermont Green team. For these two sides, this is the third straight weekend of playoffs. They have already battled through two doubleheaders of weekends to come to this moment. and you could kind of feel it as we were on the field with the two coaches, that they're ready for the game to start.
Oh, absolutely. And you took the words out of my mouth with the term battle, because it really was. There was no cakewalk at any point in the playoffs for Vermont's side. I know that Ballard had their own, mountain to climb themselves, and they just got over the line against Flint. I had watched their replay. It was a hard match, for, just to get over the line for it. So I know both teams have probably been a little bit, tired, and then they got that full kind of week off to just get rested, get organized, get their tactics set up, get their game plan ready, and now the stage is set.
It is going to be a big one. These two teams are loaded with talent. They've both led their conferences, their divisions throughout the year, and a chance for Ballard to make it 2 titles in 3 years, and a chance for Vermont Green to do something no one has done since 2010 and go perfect through an entire season. Let's take a look at our starting lineups as we get ready to kick this one off. We start with this Ballard FC team, a team loaded with talent, a ton of Seattle natives, a ton of Washington natives, a lot of UW players, but across the board, a lot of talent in this group.
Yeah, absolutely. I had actually really caught the eye of, or what caught my eye was Kosakov, and I apologize if I butcher the pronunciations. I'm going to have to get this right, but Kosakov looks like a really, really problematic number 9 in this system. He can play with his back to goal a little bit, but I also see him run the channels. It's very hard to kind of predict exactly on the limited amount that I've seen him play on how do you kind of mark this player, or how do you defend against him? Because it seems almost that he also plays, even at times, a little bit as creator and provider at times from a little bit of a deeper position. And then Dale and Amon, both of them have been absolutely outstanding. It looks like they like to get a little bit inverted into the attack, and then you see those fullbacks, they actually provide a lot of width into that final third, into the attack for it. So, and then looking at Sent and Opalinar and Otero, really solid midfield, really industrious. I saw them every time they lost the ball, Ballard. One thing I really noticed is that they would either commit a foul very quickly to stop the play, and they'd take it. They'd be like, whether it's, just a foul, time stoppage, or it's a yellow, they didn't care. They would kill that play for it. Or they work as a very collective unit to win the ball back, and they just recycle possession.
Yeah, a lethal front three. And you mentioned Richie Amon. He is a New Hampshire native, so coming back across the country to play near his hometown. Let's go look on the other side for Vermont Green. A couple staples up the spine for this team and a lot of explosive talent as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is about as strong of a lineup as Vermont can put out. I think there really is absolutely no weakness in any of these positions. Starting with the big man in net, Herseg, he's been absolutely monstrous for this side all season. Absolutely monstrous. A brick wall in that net. And then you got the incredibly consistent center-back partnership between Ndia and Marshall. They didn't actually completely start together in the very beginning of the regular season, but once they actually did, they have not strayed away from it. They have been starting, I don't know the exact number, but I want to say at least 9 to 10 matches now almost in a row. Then you've got Simeon. Simeon is a very, very industrious fullback. He gets up and down the field. You will see him work relentlessly all match. Akum is a little bit more of a defensive kind of unit. He is very much like insurance. He will get forward at times if the opportunity presents itself, especially if there can be a sustained amount of possession and he sees that opening. But otherwise, he definitely is kind of almost forms a little bit of a back three at times with Marshall and Ndia. And then you look at Bordelus. Bordelus is probably our most valuable player of this season. He has been creator. He has a couple goals to his name. He has been absolutely everywhere, involved in every single match, completely influential. And then you've got Reved. Reved is he's that pit bull in the middle. He's got a lot of quality on the ball, but what stands out to me is he wins the ball back a lot. He knows how to just read it. He sees 6 steps ahead of time. He hunts it down, and he wins the ball back for his team. And then you've got Hall, Abbey, and Zenge, really strong front three. And then you got the Tatavine, who can play as that really typical number 9 back to goal, very silky player on the ball, lethal in front of net.
Tatavine and Kosakov have been 2 of the leading goal scorers in the playoffs, each leading their sides from the front as we prepare to kick this one off here at Virtue Field. Mario Maric, our center referee for this one, Sam Conroy, and Justin Lopez, our assistant referees, and Jonathan Luck, our 4th official, as you've got Ballard FC in their white kits with their brown shorts going left to right on your screen. And, of course, what else but green on top for Vermont, going right to left on your monitors. in front of 5,000 to 6,000 people in Burlington, Vermont. It is the USL2 National Championship match. One game for all the marbles between these two sides, and we are ready to get it kicked off as the sun sets across the mountains. It is a perfect night for soccer. The game has changed in the U.S. It is two community-built clubs, and they are ready to go to battle to lift this trophy for the final time in the 2025 season. Christian Engman will blast that one long, and Musa Ndiaye will serve it back the other way. Ndiaye this week named the USL Defender of the Year as he steps on the field for his 50th career appearance for the Vermont Green.
And well-deserved, too. It's completely well-deserved. He has been an absolute stalwart for this Green side all season.
Ndiaye, a Vermont Green original, playing in his summers off from VCU here at the pre-professional ranks. And we'll hold things down alongside one of the youngest players on the team in Brandon Marshall, that center back pairing. Kai Briscoe, one of the 3 changes to the starting lineup for Ballard, gets it up this right side to Joe Dale. Dale curls this one in. It drops in the box, taken away by Reved. And now Tatuven trying to lead the break, but Briscoe wins it back, but illegally Zenge steps in, and it is expected that it is going to be tense and aggressive in this game.
I was going to say, we've already got a little bit of fireworks. There was a foul no more than probably 20 seconds into the match, and that might be a little preview of what we're going to be seeing for the rest of this.
Last week, Christian Engman, the captain left center back for this Ballard team, went in on a tough tackle in the 22nd minute, had to be subbed off because of the injury he picked up, and that game continued to be tense the rest of the way forward. As Laborda loose.
A little bit lucky there from Bordelus. I know that the intention was to get the big switch over, but almost losing the ball in the middle of the field in a dangerous area with 3 players around him.
Marshall over the top to the Seattle native Alex Hall, a UW player. He is familiar growing up with a number of these Ballard players himself, and it is going to be a nice friendly exchange for him up and down right wing.
We got our first corner of the match also.
Corner kicks.
It's been a little bit since Green have actually scored from a corner for it, so we'll see if and DA does love to get on the end of these, but look, you can see the size of Akum floating in that kind of no-man zone a little bit just back. I got a feeling he's going to dart in towards that 6-yard box.
Stockton short in goal. Trying to clean things up in front of him as he's got the physical pressure of Reved on top of it. Laborda loose to the far post, and it's just too far for Akum.
Looks like he could keep it alive, but
Briscoe once again flying into the attack. Kai Briscoe, one of the veterans of this team, one of 3 players who was on the 2023 National Championship team for Ballard. He was suspended for that final after picking up a red card in the semifinal, so he is making sure to get it all in early in this one as Laborda gets the shot. It's blocked, second chance played in, and cleared away by Engman. Zenge brings it down, and his shot immediately stuffed by Dale.
It's so far an explosive start to the match.
2 teams that like to hunt the game. They like to push things up against each other, and this is one of the stars to watch in Richie Amon. Seacoast United Academy graduate in New Hampshire, here in New England.
That's where I recognize him. The name just kept ringing a bell to me, and I just couldn't put my finger on it, but
he has been one of the best college soccer players in the country since moving over to UW. Top drawer soccer's best freshman, his freshman year. And Seacoast United has been in battles with Vermont Green in the 4 years since their founding, and now an alumni, one more chance to try and stick a thorn in their side.
There's a lot of love-hate between the Vermont Green side and Seacoast, if you're not aware.
Dale in the corner. A Ballard FC original. Joe Dale with the cross, and it's right onto the hands of Nicholas Herseg.
Good hands from Herseg, too. No awkward deflection back into a dangerous zone.
Herseg, we will mention a couple times, is looking to make it a double this year with a couple of his teammates here. The UVM Catamounts are national champions at the men's soccer Division I level this season, and multiple of these Vermont Green players are trying to make it 2 for 2 here in the USL League II championships. We will see the game-winning goal scorer we expect later in Max Kissel off the bench.
I'm seeing a couple times, I don't know if it's necessarily nerves, but Ballard doing a really good job of pressing and cutting off a lot of these passing lanes for Green to get out of. And there again.
And Ballard talked about this yesterday. James Riley, the head coach of Seattle Sounders, legend himself, he kept calling his group dogs, saying he wanted them to get after the game on and off the ball. He wanted to counter press. He wanted to push it. And I think you could feel it, as you said, early in this game.
No, absolutely. And watching the match versus Flint, it looked like they just, like a pack of dogs. When they lose the ball, it's almost the immediate, 5-6 players that are there. They all just get ravenous to just hunt down. They mark players out, and then they kill passing lanes, and then somebody goes and takes the ball from them.
Yeah, they're almost more dangerous when they don't have the ball than when they do, at times with the way they play. Free kick setting up here. Rafi Otero, the attacking midfielder, and Richie Amon standing over this one. Otero has taken over the number 10 role in this playoff run and has shined. He steps over it, trying to fake the back line. Then he takes it himself.
That's intentional, right? That's got to be intentional.
A little fake, a little drama.
Yeah, I love it.
Apollonar with his shot, and it's blocked. And then the collision and another foul called. So a chippy game early on here, as you'd expect, with everything to play for. We talked about it a little.
That's the first for Engman, right? Yeah, okay. I was going to say Engman's got to be a little bit careful because that's kind of that level of foul that some refs have given a yellow very quickly. Some are straight by the book, They're not afraid to show cards for it, but you don't want your center back to be riding on a yellow that early into a match.
Labordelus, the responsibility to drop in and try and play out as Akoum is pressured, and he will get called for the foul the other way. Chris Taylor, the head coach for this Vermont Green team. Full-time work at SUNY Plattsburgh across the lake, takes the water ferry over every day to work with this group. And for both these coaching staffs, the key is not just continuity, it's not just style and stability, it is versatility when you look at the amount of players that have to come in and out to sustain a run like this in the USL League Two setup.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the recruiting, I've said it so many times over the season, but all the way from Adam Pfeiffer and then working with the coaching staff and what their needs are, what their vision of how they want to play and the types of players that they need, the different types of qualities and attributes, they've really just landed on aces with this.
On the flip side, James Riley, heavily involved in the recruiting. Sam Zizette as well, one of the co-founders along with Lamar Nagel for this Ballard team. They are constantly looking for players, including watching Charlie Kosakov score 2 goals against them last year for FC Olympia and say, hey, why don't you put on our colors next year?
A little poaching done. You got to respect it.
FC Olympia, a big USL 2 team. Alex Hall for Vermont Green started the year with Olympia before coming east to play in Burlington. As Ian Abbey lets that one run. Tataven back in. Abbey now up the line for Akoum. Briscoe and Akoum, stride for stride.
And look at Akoum go.
Battling in the corner, and Briscoe.
And he's furious.
In on the tackle. He thinks it took a touch.
I'm not sure. He's gesturing for almost a handball, but I didn't see where there was possibly a handball.
So it'll be a deep throw in for Vermont Green.
But you can see what happens when Akoum gets ahead of steam going. I mean, he's a big boy.
Akoum throws it in quickly. Tataven.
It's a great cross.
Chased down now by Reved. Laporta loose. Back out wide for Reved. 2 midfielders not able to link up, and Amon immediately wants to get running. And the slide tackle from Simeon.
It's basically it's a characteristic of Simeon at that point. He's very good at judging and timing it, like those slide tackles, those kind of like hooking tackles where he gets the ball.
Amon might be the best 1v1 attacker on the wing in the league, and Vermont Green's coaching staff has said Simeon might be the best 1v1 defender at fullback. It's why we are in the national championship with these 2 teams. Briscoe loses it. Gets it back to short. Blasted up into the setting sun. Apollonar with the big switch out wide.
Beautiful ball.
Amon once again now. Looking to attack Simeon. Amon to his left foot. The slide tackle in the box, and it's clean. And it'll be out for a corner kick.
So somebody, it wasn't my words, but very Juan Basaka-esque.
The Ballard FC team opened the playoffs with a 6-0 win of the Colorado Storm as we take a look at this replay.
It's something he always does. He waits. He doesn't go in rash or early. He waits for his time, and then he makes the tackle.
So Ballard scored 3 goals off corner kicks against Colorado Storm to start this playoff run. They are lethal in these moments as Apollonar's blast goes over the fence and into the crowd. And a reminder, all the fans you see to the right and left of the goals do not have tickets. They have just come to hang out. The banners have been taken down so they can see through the fence. There is over 2,500 fans in the stand, and we can't even count how many more are around.
I was going to say, it's like rough count. I'm thinking about over 4,000 in total on the ground.
Abbey put under pressure. Briscoe gets a touch to it, and now Dale. Another one of the players who was in that 2023 National Championship team but did not get a chance to play in the final. So all 3 of the representatives, this is their first championship playing experience, but they know what it means to the club and the community to win this trophy.
Yeah, and I think also there's something to be said about, like, the energy carries over from a club, even to players that are new to it that didn't experience that championship run. I mean, why do you think even at, like, the highest level successful clubs kind of just breed success over time? They keep winning.
Dale cuts back.
But no, just to finish the thought from that is that there's that experience within the club that they've been on this stage and they have won it.
Amon now flying forward. Amon with the strike. It's deflected. Ooh. And Ursig able to recover and get to it.
And it was just a little heart-to-mouth moment because Ursig actually took just like a 4-inch little sidestep, and I think he just read it right at the last moment.
Nicholas Ursig, German-born, played for some big academies in Germany before coming over, making his college debut with UVM this season and winning the most outstanding and defensive player in the NCAA tournament, helping lead that team to that national championship. And now he has been the rock in goal this season for this Vermont Green side.
I don't know if it has anything to do, I'm sure it does a little bit, have anything to do with necessarily you're playing at your home field, your home ground that you're so familiar with, so you're so comfortable. But his levels have not dropped off. If anything, they've gotten even better.
As Dale gets called for the foul this time. So it'll be another free kick coming in the attacking half for Vermont Green. As Chris Taylor has a nice little conversation with the assistant referees.
Well, you can see him gesturing the number 4 with his hands because Bordelus is kind of getting chopped down right now.
And we have seen just out the gate the need for this one to be managed by Mario Maric. So Bordelus standing over this one. UNC Greensboro player, one of 3 in this lineup for this Vermont Green side. And Bordelus curls this one into the far post, headed on, and saved by Short. Stuart Short with it right on his doorstep, and he punches it away.
And what a ball, but what a save, David. We'll take another look at this. It's a perfect ball, and Ndia does a great job. I almost thought that Ndia was going to go back across goal, but he goes right at him.
So now, another set piece coming. Bordelus with that cultured right foot. He goes short to Zenge. Zenge now able to beat the first defender, cuts it back. The shot from Rivette is blocked. Vermont still battling in the box, trying to get another chance away. And Akum's shot curls wide. But a big chance both ways now, but the best look so far for Vermont Green.
Yeah, I think so far, looking 13 and a half minutes in, I think Vermont, when they've been in the opportunity to shoot on net, they've looked the most dangerous. They've had the better chances for it. But that was just after a pretty decent spell of possession, and looking in it dangerous was from Ballard pretty much for almost like a solid 5 minutes into that final third, into Vermont's defensive third.
As expected, I think 2 teams that are both have shown this season they dominate games playing against each other.
Exactly.
We expect to see these shifts every 5-10 minutes.
Well, looking at the statistics on the USL2 site, these guys are almost dead even when it comes to like their possession base, like their average possession within matches.
At some point, something's got to break unless it hits a clean 50-50 split. As Akum battling hard to win it back. Reved, Boston University Terrier, playing that role in midfield alongside Bordelus. There's been a ton of rotation in these teams for these coaching staffs, players that have had to leave, players that have moved onto fully professional opportunities or heading back to college. And so both these squads have settled in. A few changes to the starting lineup for both these teams in this game. But for the most part, these have been the groups through the playoffs that have led them to this spot.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to expose them out there and get them in trouble with their programs. But a few of these players for the green side.
Amon now breaking into the box. Amon dancing. He's nudged off the ball. And Maric, our head referee, points to the goal kick.
Not for me. Not for me. Not enough for that to be a call for a foul.
But you can see the
take
danger
another look
of
at
Richie Amon. He's constantly putting defenders on their heels in the box.
No, I don't see it. But sorry, to go back to that point, there's been a few players that had told their head coaches from their college programs that they are not going to come back. They are going to stay and see out this run because they literally said, they're like, what is the point of playing if it's not for trophies?
It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of these players. It's amazing when you talk to high-level players how rare it is to play in a final.
Yeah, exactly. You might never actually – you could be a very, very good player in a very, very good program, but you could only get close most of the time.
James Riley now heading over to the fourth official to also discuss the amount of times there's been contact. So both coaching staffs getting to work early here as Tatavin rotates that one back. 2 appearances for the Central African Republic full national team. A former Rennes Academy player, Tatavin. He has put on a show for this Vermont Green team. They've come from behind 3 times in this postseason. Tatavin has been the catalyst in some of the biggest moments.
Oh, absolutely. I believe it might have been Lionsbridge was his big match when we had gone down, Green had gone down 1-0. And I apologize if I'm wrong. Yes.
Motown.
So, it was Motown, sorry.
2-0.
Motown, 2-0, and Tatavin, I believe Bordelus had come on, and then he had absolutely flipped that entire game on its head.
Scored 2 penalty kicks and then a one-time finish off a gorgeous layoff. And Tatavin helping lead from the front. Similar, as we said, to what Charlie Kosakov has done for this Ballard team. 2 players, we haven't seen them touch the ball a lot, but when they get in dangerous areas, they know what to do with it.
Well, Tatavin, he had a difficult last match for it. He was kind of marked out of the game a lot. And so far, I haven't seen him necessarily get on the ball a lot in this first half for it. So I want to see if he starts to grow into it a bit because as that goes on, you'll see somewhere early into the second half, there are some weapons on this green bench. And I would not be surprised to see a player like Max Kissel come on and rotate in.
For both these teams, there are some options off the bench. We'll get into it as we come out of halftime. Both these coaches can change the game as once again Amon on his horse, clips it back, headed down. It's clipped up over the crossbar. It was Rafi Otero with the header at the top of the box. It dropped dangerously right into the 6. And Vermont Green a little fortunate to see it put over the crossbar.
Was that Dale that had just gotten his foot on that, I think, at the end? It was Dale, I think, that took the shot for it. And he's got to be ruining that miss, too, because he's, 5 feet out from net. You got to get that on target. You got to test the keeper.
NDA with the ball over the top. Tatavin can't keep it. And Christian Engman, wearing the captain's armband, will help rotate it back. For Ballard FC, national champions 2 years ago. They have been a contender every year since they joined USL2. They made it all the way to the national semifinals in 2022. They won it in 23, knocked off in the first round last year, and then making the run this year through some local rivals in Snohomish, as well as some other big teams out west like Ventura County and, of course, Flint City, who are the leaders in USL2 history in championships. But Ballard are chasing that. They'd be the second team to ever win more than one if they can get it done here tonight.
Well, you ever seen those week by week or month by month charts where you see each team? It's like a horse race from the side that you see. And it's just Ballard, just one line, just keeps going across.
Just dominant throughout the season.
Everyone's trading spots. It's just Ballard just keeps going.
Kosakov chests it down. Abbey able to keep this one alive. Ian Abbey, a new addition for the postseason. He's been a revelation on this left wing, as that one does just roll out and will be a throw-in in the attacking half for Vermont Green. So Akum now steps all the way forward. It's been an active opening half for Akum. Akum takes the touch. Dale now to work out of the corner. He's able to keep it alive up the line. And NDA will usher that one back to Brandon Marshall, the youngest player on the field for Vermont Green, in a position of massive importance along that center back pairing.
Youngest player, but he plays honestly like one of the oldest, like one of the most experienced. That's just been something really awesome to watch throughout this season. Is he's just so mature on the ball, and his decision making, his positioning off the ball has been absolutely outstanding. It's, you know, that's something that a lot of center backs, I don't know if they get enough credit for, is their positioning. Even when they're 100 yards away from the ball, they can just read where it's going to go, and they either make clean interceptions or they can time their tackles just perfectly by knowing exactly where that run's coming.
Labordelus has been dangerous with these set pieces already. Stuart Short knows he's going to be under pressure here. As Labordelus looks to take the in-swinger, curls it to the far post. It's flicked on by Short. And the foul called as the goalkeeper takes the collision and goes down in the box.
I was ball watching, but I saw a little bit out of my peripheral that he got smoked, I think, on that.
Stuart Short,
okay.
His first year with Ballard FC, Stockton Short, Pleasant View, Utah native. He goes to Utah Tech and was recruited to come to Ballard by his college teammate Tanner Dutra. He is staying with Dutra, and Tanner Dutra's father is the Seattle Sounders goalkeeper coach.
Let's get another look at this just real quick.
So Short, as he takes the collision there, almost face-to-face as he came across.
It's tough to get smashed by NDA, honestly. I wouldn't want to be on the end of that.
But Short is the Utah State record holder in saves as well as in shutouts. He is the Utah Tech record holder in all-time saves and saves in a game. An opportunity to come to Seattle this summer, train with a Seattle Sounders goalkeeper coach, and play for Ballard FC. As Zenge now for the run of Abby. Abby, as the flag stays down to the end line, plays it across, through, and it stays,
what a save.
Still alive on the line, and David puts it away. And now the flag goes up.
And there will be no VAR, David. Even though I thought there was enough bodies, there's no way that he was offsides. The ref made the call.
And one of the things to remember here is offside is two players defensively behind the ball. And Short, it seemed like, was ahead of the ball, which means Tatavine would have to have been behind two defenders.
Well, let's take another look. We'll see the replay from here.
As Abby smartly plays this one across.
And then the dummy.
But Tatavine right there recovering from an offside position. He puts it in. But what a roar from the crowd. You could feel how ready the Green Mountain boys are.
And I think everyone on Ballard FC's bench, their hearts just stopped there just for a split second.
First
then
10 minutes.
to see the flag go up.
First 10 minutes, it was back and forth. We have felt the game shift and tilt towards this Ballard defensive half over these last 15 minutes.
Yeah, just a bit. It's been bits and pieces, fits and starts, as they say.
You see the cohesion with this Vermont Green front line. Tatavine knowing where the runners are, letting that ball run. Abby able to find feet. Extremely cohesive for this Vermont side.
Well, they've hit that kind of like perfect amount of time for teams, and obviously Ballard as well. Like anybody that's at this stage have all kind of like reached a level of gelling together and understanding exactly like where players are going to be ahead of time. Like they know exactly. They don't even have to look for the passes half the time. And so those little dummies that you see sometimes in the box, that's just because they've finally hit that sweet spot of like playing with each other enough.
Hall going up against his college teammate there in Amon, coming away with it. But Ballard wins it back, and this is where Ballard's dangerous. The transition moments. Kosakov gets it across, headed on goal, and it's just over the crossbar from Rafi Otero.
And again, you're going to rue that miss potentially, every time. He just didn't test the keeper enough. It was kind of unmarked. You should get that lower on frame. Take another look at this. It's a great cross. Yeah, maybe it's just a little high, and I'm being a little bit overly critical. But
yeah, Otero not really able to get over the ball, kind of chasing it as he leaned back, but shows you the danger. And I think a name James Riley would love for us to be saying more is Rafi Otero, the way he could change the game from that number 10 position. As Apollonar called for the foul there. This is a Ballard squad that is Seattle to its core. Over 90% of the players are either from the state of Washington or have played college soccer in the state of Washington. They are tied to their community.
So they're like...
This ball played on. Akum now flying forward. Akum's early
Great
ball.
ball.
It's in.
Oh!
Tatavine pulls it wide. And Zenge immediately in his forward space saying, let's get the next one. But Tatavine has been waiting for a chance like that.
Well, Zenge knows he needs to keep Tatavine in this because so far Tatavine, granted, yes, it was called offsides, has put the ball back in the net. And that's another really great chance that he just snatched at. You can see his expression, too. He puts his face in his hands, and he just can't believe he missed it.
Arnaud Tatuvine, 6 goals this season. He's one of the stars at UNC Greensboro. Came up through the Rennes Academy in France alongside a certain Edouard Camavinga, who he has been close friends with and was on the field at the Champions League final last year with him.
Wow.
Watching that play out for Real Madrid. He has been a star man for this group and a chance you'd think he'd put away. But once again, a response between these two teams. Every time one team breaks out, the other team has an answer.
Well, that's why I understand if it's a little overly critical to the home, to the fans that are listening and watching for these misses. But you can see how quickly it's going back and forth and how it's just on a knife edge. And you got to bury your chances.
Amon has just been a constant threat on the left wing. He cycles this one back to Luke Hammond. Hammond and Kai Briscoe, the two changes in the starting lineup at both fullbacks positions. Played last year over 15 times for Ballard. The Seattle University.
I'm just watching this switch that's potentially coming here. Briscoe is taking a lot of space up forward. And Abbey is really deep. Like, he's almost at the spine of the center of the field. Now Briscoe's back, but...
Labordelus, the slide tackle from behind, wins it back. Zenge touches it around the defender, but only as far as Engman. And immediately, Ballard is back on the run. Kosakov with the layoff. Dale clips it over. Amon heads it on. But Otero didn't read it, was not making the run on the backside. Tatavine now putting on pressure by himself. Good to see Short back into the game and feeling okay as Zenge now closes down the keeper.
It's good to see Tatavine making full field sprints because he's been kind of managing an injury throughout the season. You can see his right knee is wrapped up, and he was out for about a roughly 3 week stretch for it. He had missed a good chunk of the regular season, right in the middle of it. And then I didn't know if he had aggravated in the last match because he seemed a little off physically, just from the eye test from that.
Yeah, has missed 8 of the 18 matches so far this season. But in the 10 he's played, he scored 6 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Amon beats another defender. Clip to the far post. Akum with the first header. Briscoe now puts it off of Akum. It's off the hands, and it's going to be called on the edge of the box.
He is lucky.
That looked to me.
It looks like it was in, but we'll probably get another look at it. If I felt like his feet were in, but we'll take a look.
Now the ball in the hand is what needs to be in the box for it to be a penalty kick. And of course, as you said, no VAR, so it will stand the way it is. I think the referee got that one right.
He got it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Akum and Briscoe have been in this battle all game, and now another dangerous chance on the edge of the box here.
I think he deserves a little credit, too, the center ref, Mario Maric. I think he's done a really good job so far in this match. He's called a good, clean game.
Has managed this game as best they can with a ton of emotions. Vermont is very deep right now. There are multiple Ballard players on the top of the box. Apollonar and Otero, 2 of them, as the free kick comes in.
Dangerous
hit
ball.
To the far post, but no one can get on the end of it, and Hammond's cross will go out for a goal kick.
Put in a perfect area for somebody to get their head on the end of it, but Was it Engman who kind of put his foot out for it? Yeah.
Well, we'll get a pause here. A quick shout-out to the voice of the Vermont Green, Brian McLaughlin, who's watching this game in as green a place as you can in Ireland. Unavailable for this one. I am happy to fill in. We wish he could be here, and we thank him for all the work he does.
Buddy. Have fun in Dingle.
Not a bad place to be green.
Oh, no. I saw the pictures he had posted of the cliffs. I was like, all right, I get it.
A shout-out to Brian, and, of course, you'll hear him back on the mic next season for Vermont Green.
UVM basketball as well.
So this one goes all the way back to Engman. USL2 growing every year. Its 30th season, 30 new clubs. Ballard will be familiar with the Portland Bangers coming in with a splash this season as Hall clips this one over the top. Abbey keeps it in, and the flag goes up. So it'll be a throw-in for Vermont Green, but the league growing faster and faster. And Ballard and Vermont Green, a huge part of that. Inspirations for a lot of the teams that are looking to start up and create something that truly resonates in their communities. Dauphin, we saw in the semifinals, they had over 8,000 fans at their final regular season game in Alabama.
I think you and I were talking off air about it too. Like, I had noticed that we had a whole section over here on like the left side of the stands, and Dothan fans had traveled all the way. I was shocked.
It's a long drive for them, as it is for the Ballard fans who have their own section here. And a shout out to everyone at Rubens Brew in Ballard, one of the best beer neighborhoods in the entire country. Not hard to find a brewery to watch, but we are stoked about the big watch party.
Well, for anybody that thinks, about starting up a club, especially a USL2 club, and you think that there's something to tap into in that community, I would implore you and tell you that the juice is worth the squeeze. Like, do a little bit of research on it, but if you've got that feeling, I think you should go for it.
And these are two clubs that are proof that if you work hard, diligently, and are connected to your communities, passionate about the game,
yes,
you can build something so special. And
big emphasis on the community part too. That have such a strong following is that everyone in the community feels directly connected to the team.
If you've never watched a Ballard game, I recommend you do. They've got the supporters section, the bridge keepers,
cool,
but then they have the bush keepers who stand similar to the fans outside of the stands without tickets in bushes,
it's so
climb
sick. I love
trees.
it.
People are dying to get in the stadiums for these games, so much so that they have their own viewing sections and supporter sections that are officially unofficial outside the stadium.
I don't know which team it was. The acronym was VFC, but there was fans all the way up like 30 feet in a tree.
Yeah, Ventura County.
I was like, oh, okay.
And for Vermont today, we think there are maybe 3,000 fans unticketed sitting around the stadium. You see it every time we show the two goals. Every time there's a corner kick, the fans loaded up against the fences to watch this game, standing on bleachers that are parts of other stadiums here to watch this as well. UVM, an incredible host for this team, and it has been a summer of dreams for Vermont Green. And it is the perfect capper here as Abbey chases on.
Yeah.
He's going to get called for the foul as Briscoe goes down.
That's unfortunate, too, because it's a really dangerous opportunity. That's an awkward bouncing ball, and he just runs right through the back of him. They're having a little exchange of words. There's a little spiciness starting to brew a little.
Kai Briscoe, no stranger to these scenes. As I said, a Ballard veteran. He's played with Tacoma Stars for the last few years in MASL. A Sounders Academy player himself and a longtime UW player in his college career. He's part of 5 or 6 fully adult professional players on this team that Sam Zizette said is key to the culture for this Ballard squad, of having experienced players who have been there sort of helping guide these superb young talents.
I mean, that's so important for especially like a title charge or a title winning team, is to have that nice blend of like veterans and then also some youth, because let's be honest, David, you need some legs around you. You can have the brain, but you might not have the legs for it. You need something to give you a little bit of pace around the field too.
Now, Jacob Labovitz and Owen O'Malley are a similar story on the other side for Vermont Green.
Yes.
Two veteran professional players who are getting a chance to lace them up once again for this Vermont Green side. Labovitz, a native, now of Burlington, and Owen O'Malley, arguably the mayor of Burlington.
Yeah, we call Leibovitz Don Leibovitz because he owns a soccer business just down the street, and he's kind of been with the club for a long time. He's like a fan favorite, and he's actually lethal in front of net every time he comes in. He's very, very good at, like, poaching the ball. I hope he doesn't take that as an insult because that's a very hard skill to be good at. But he just seems to be very Chicharito-esque. He knows where to be at the right time.
And Owen O'Malley on an all-time heater
and
right
O'Malley,
now.
yes, is a mayor
Had the miracle in Lusitano to win the division in the regular season for this team. Has scored in the playoffs as well as we prepare for another dangerous set piece. Julian Labordalouse, the controller in midfield, has been lethal on these set pieces. He's got the big bodies lined up on the far post. Ian Abbey and Zach Zenge hanging on the edge of the wall. A three-man wall for this Ballard FC team. Stockton Short prepares. Labordalouse right on goal, and Short equal to the task.
I didn't think he was going to go. I don't know, maybe if he got caught between two thoughts there, but he went for goal, it seems. And this is kind of the patience that I had seen a little bit from Ballard, but looks like it just got nicked off. But.
Tatavine comes back to press. Tatavine now, and Hall can't link up, and Apollonier able to win it back for his team. Hammond with an early ball over the top.
Well, I could see Marshall raising his hand, but it didn't look like Amon was going to be offsides.
So a couple big chances both ways for Ballard. They've put them over the crossbar. They put them wide of the post. For Vermont, they hit the back of the net once, but it was called offside. And then Tatavine had a big look inside the six. He pulled wide. And Stockton Short made the save of the game so far off the header from NDA.
Navy's got to be a little careful here because that's the second time now, almost similar to what had happened in the box. And Abbey could find himself potentially getting booked. I think he's just going to get a talking to, but him and Briscoe it's been a little bit of fireworks between those two at this point.
Ian Abbey, Elmer, New Jersey native, part of what is a large Providence College contingent with this group. Adam Pfeiffer, a close relationship with the Providence College head coach, which has been one of the best college soccer programs in the country over the last 5 years and has done very well for Vermont Green.
Oh, he had an absolutely brilliant volley. It was absolutely stunning volley that he took just out of the air. It was almost hanging a little too long. Sometimes you can just have too much time to think about what you're going to do. Nope, he stayed focused, kept his eye on it, and just roofed it.
But it is part of what was a trend for Vermont, which is they are yet to take the lead to start a game. Right now, they've been on the front foot, and I think all the fans in the building would appreciate maybe not coming from behind.
I was going to say, I don't think that's the game plan, David, but you take what you can get pretty much at that point, and let's be honest, it's extremely entertaining to come from behind and win a match.
James Riley, over 250 career MLS appearances, off the bench, talking to his team, trying to use this moment to take a little bit of composure for this Ballard side, trying to survive this first half. Amon drives it in. Labordalouse straight up in the air. Second ball falls in the box. A shot now, it's deflected, and Zenge able to get it away.
A lot of work to do from here, though, for Tatavine.
Tatavine with a big switch.
Hammond
in a foot race. Hammond trying to turn up field, though, and he's able to get around. Kosakov lays that one off. Amon
really
now picks it up again, puts it back. The shot saved by Erstag. The second chance cleared off the line.
Gosh.
NDA with the clearance, and somehow we're still level.
I'm looking for the words, but I'd say it's the goalkeeper show so far in this first half. Absolutely outstanding goalkeeping from both goalkeepers.
Ballard flying into the attack there. Amand once again makes the right decision from the end line. Erstag with the initial save, but he was rooted to his line when the second chance came in.
I can't believe that didn't go in the net.
A couple chances for these teams. You're shocked aren't scored. We are still somehow at 0-0.
Well, the match versus Flint, I noticed a lot of 1-2 touch. They play through very quickly. They get into that final third in like 5-6 passes from there, and that's when they looked most lethal, and you just saw it leading up to that chance on goal.
Yeah, they are.
When they move the ball quickly.
They are dangerous in transition. They don't need a lot of possession to create chances. They haven't had a lot of it so far in this game. It looks like Hall and Abbey have swapped wings here as Hall turns it over. Otero lays it off for Dale. Dale now, he puts it across. Headed away by NDA.
Every cross looks dangerous from Ballard because they're all like kind of the perfect weight and they're the perfect height for somebody to get their head on. They're not floating too high up for players to get back just in time enough to get their head on it. A defensive player to get back and get their head on it for it. Every time it leaves a foot from one of those wide players, it looks very dangerous. But also to go back to your point about the switch from Abbey and Hall, Hall had kind of actually been like anonymous for that first half for it. And we've seen this actually from Chris Taylor's. Like sometimes they will switch out. Abbey's back on the left now, but we have seen them actually just switch middle of a half.
NDA now into the teeth of the defense. Abbey with the layoff. It's off of Briscoe, and Briscoe is on every call right now. He is Ballard to his core.
Got to get whatever you can out of the refs. Influence it as much as you can.
Has made Interbay Stadium his home. He's part of what is a large contingent of players on this team that Sam Zizette, one of the founders, said is our greatest recruiters. They're the ones going out finding teammates saying, come play for Ballard. It's the experience you want every summer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it is why both of these programs have found it very easy to bring in talent.
Well, I had spoken to a journalist last week and answered a couple of his questions, and he had asked, like, what has made this team so successful and how is, like, that recruiting gone? I was like, to be honest, like, there is some emphasis that these players are talking to other players over the years, and they're saying, like, it's a really great club to come play for. The town is awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's safe. It's clean.
There could be nothing better than hanging out on the side of the lake in the summer and then going and playing in front of 3,000 to 4,000 people.
Get a little ice cream on Church Street, maybe some pizza from Mr. Mike's.
Some of the finest, coolest gear you could possibly get as well for both these teams and Salmon Bay.
I was going to say big props to Ballard's kit. I love it. I like the pinstripes.
Salmon Bay, the women's side in the W League for this Ballard club, operating on the other side of things. Vermont Green has their women's team head coach, Sammy Mewis, in attendance. A now Vermont native who has coached the friendlies for the women's squad that have been put together as Hall now deep in the corner. Beats the first defender. Hall clips it in.
Good defending.
Headed away by Sent. Labordaloose with the touch. Closed down immediately. Goes over. And it'll be a free kick on the edge of the box. And we finally have our first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, it's first one. Okay. And it's kind of deserved. Yeah, it did look like it was potentially.
Richie Amon picks up the yellow card. He's been the one sort of getting his heels clipped more often, but he comes back, tries to make the tackle, and gives up the foul.
Real quick before this goes, just to touch on what you're the women's team for, there's more to come from that team. It's been a very successful endeavor, and they had a great summer in all the matches that they had played, and there's just going to be more matches to come. Just, TBD, but it's coming.
Both these clubs continuing to grow and put this sport on display. They have done as well a job as you could ask for, and these fans are ready to explode for real. They had the tease of the offside goal already. We have seen Stockton Short come up big. What does Labordalouse have in his back pocket this time?
He's going to put this on net.
The French center mid curls it over the wall. It takes a deflection, and it's out for a corner kick.
Yeah, from that distance, he's always going to shoot, even if it's at an angle.
The final rays of sun here on a perfect Saturday evening to start August at the tail end of 3 weeks of playoff soccer for these two programs. Vermont has set records with the speed at which they've sold out over the last few weeks. The biggest crowd of the year here to see the two best teams in the country. And Labordelou serves this one in. Headed away, only as far as Hall. Beats the first defender. Hall clips it in. Back up in the air. And Otero will take it away. Amon claims for handball. They go unheeded by our referee. And now Abbey restarts the attack. Vermont Green in their dark green kits. Going left to right on your screen. Ballard in the white stripes. Akoum curls it in, flicked on. Oh. Hall gets a touch, and Short quick to it.
Yeah, I know that I had said that Hall had kind of a quiet first half, but so we're seeing now actually, wow, this half just flew by. I hadn't really taken a look at the scoreboard and checked the time for it. I thought it was somewhere around maybe the 28th minute, but
it'll be a minimum of one more minute of stoppage time. It's been a phenomenal game so far. 2 goal line clearances, some incredible saves. A goal called off for offside. It has had everything except that breakthrough. And as expected, it's been even.
Yeah. I mean, when I was looking at the statistic, like the metrics or like the teams like leaderboards for both of them matched up, they're both almost dead even if you look at the USL2 website. It's basically like almost similar to exact like possession levels, shots on target, shots in total, fouls, like everything.
These are 2 teams that have been eyeing each other from a distance all year. A half idea that they might be the ones to face off in the final. It was tough just to get here, and they've got 45 minutes left to try and make the difference, but it has lived up to the billing in this first half. A record crowd at Virtue Field as Burlington, Vermont is the site of soccer today in North America. And so far here on Sports Engine, we have a 0-0 tie as we head to halftime. We go back to our studio in Detroit with PMG, and we'll have all your second half action coming up in just a moment here from Burlington.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
A live look there at the watch party right now in Seattle, Washington. As, again, we talk about this matchup. It's 0-0 at the half. This first half has had just about everything you could imagine except goals.
Yeah, I thought this game would have been a little bit from both teams, coming out a little bit slow, not making the mistake, playing safe. But that's the exact opposite. And you also got to include tackles are flying in. tensions are high, and that was an amazing first half, except the goals, as you mentioned, but the entertainment was there.
It was, and again, we talk about what this first half had, right? We talk about how goals did go in the back of the net. At least one did, right? Yes. Offside was the call, and then we saw that chaos in front of the Vermont goal, where off the goal line is being cleared off. So talk about a phenomenal first half. If you are a fan of amateur soccer, if you are a fan of this game, this is an unbelievable one here to watch tonight. Here, the last game of this USL League 2 season. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky. We're here in our Shelby Township, Michigan studios as we talk about this first half. We'll look at some first half highlights
after
here
picking up a red
in a
card
moment.
in the semifinal.
They are on your screen. But, we talk about this, again, this first half. A lot to talk about. But first and foremost, what was the thing that stood out to you the most?
That most of the attacks came from crosses, using the outside, using the flanks. A lot of crosses in. These teams really have not gone through directly, not going through the middle of the field. They've had to have been forced to go out wide, cross things in, and we've seen a couple of scrums in and around the box, like this one right here, where Tatavine was actually called as an offside, but a great shot there from Hall, and then Tatavine put it in the back of the net, came from an offside position, but in the end it did not count.
The effort there from Ballard, though, defensively, you just can't say enough about the grittiness that this team has, and a missed opportunity here in the 26th. There was a moment in that first half where kind of a lull. We saw for about 10 minutes or so, and then look at this here in the 30th. This is that chaos we were talking about. First great save off the line there, and from the goalkeeper, but it just, again, what a phenomenal play, but just didn't go in the back of the net.
Yeah, Herseg with a great initial save. Musa Ndai, he's the reason why he's the 2025 Defender of the Year, keeping this game level, keeping Vermont in the game, and he's had a couple chances. He even had one chance with a header early on in the game. That was a great save by Short, but unbelievable stuff so far. But this goal, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. I think there's going to be a couple of players having to crash the net, put a couple of bodies in front of the ball to block it. But this goal, it's going to be ugly.
It's going to be, well, potentially be ugly. We obviously like the things of beauty as well.
Yes.
But hey, the one thing we heard, and we've talked about this with a lot of coaches, you just have to win by one more goal than the other team, right? That's all you got to do. And we saw a bunch of chances here in this first half. More coverage here coming up on this halftime report here. The USL League 2 National Championship game presented by Venture HR. More coming up here on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Who made the sauce? I made the sauce. What's in the sauce? I am the sauce. Who brought the sauce? I brought the sauce. Who made the sauce? I got the sauce. What's in the sauce?
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.
We're an environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint, and when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, it's certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
And welcome back here into our Shelby Township, Michigan studios. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinsky. USL League 2 national championship game here tonight on Sports Engine Play. It's presented by Venture HR. Again, this game right now is tied at the half. So if you're just joining us here, you're in for a treat. It's been a fantastic game. We want to look at these two plays in this first half that, again, we talk about what happened here in this first half, 23rd minute, offside goal called back, right? Let's take a look at here again.
Yeah, you initially see Abby get to the end line here, tracking it down. He kind of stalls out for a second, and then a crashing Alexander Hall kind of gets to the penalty dot as we see the shot right here, but just a plethora of white bodies, or white shirts in there. Short may have got a piece of it, but then Tatavine comes over from an offside position and gets a shot away, but it's offside in the end. But again, defenders putting their bodies on the line, and you just love to see it.
You know, you look at that play, and I think we even hear in the studios, like, how is that player offside? And clearly Tatavine, where he was when that ball initially was shot, he was right there on the end line, and he was the first player to touch that ball, so offside is the right call in that moment. Let's take a look now here, again, this scrum. In the latter part, in the 39th minute, again, we talked about there's this lull during this, I would say about 10 minutes there, where we didn't see a whole lot happen to either side, but right here, this ball comes across. Dale has this look, great save by Hersig, right on the goal line, and then the follow-up right there as well. I mean,
slow-mo.
Slow-mo. Again, talk about just putting your body on the line. The ball did not look like it came anywhere near the goal line, at least from our perspective, and cleared away. And that has been the story of this game right now, right? You've had chances in the final third, chances inside the 18. We've seen one go in the back of the net that was called back, and we saw that one there that ultimately did not go in the back of the net either, but my goodness, it could have gone in.
Yeah, Sent, that's a great effort on that bicycle kick, but Musa Ndai, again, fantastic clearance to keep this game level for his side. Again, I still think this goal, where it's going to come from, don't know what time, but it's going to be ugly. I think there's going to be a little bit of a scrum in and around the net. We've seen two chances like that already. Both have been, one ruled out as an offside, and that one you just saw, great defensive work, but it's going to be ugly.
Again, ugly can be a lot of things, but if it means you win a national championship, that's all that matters, right? And that's what's coming up here after this break. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go, and a new champion in USL League 2 will be crowned, and hopefully it happens in the next 45. But either way, we appreciate you stopping by. We'll be back here for post-game coverage in this USL League 2 national final.
We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go, because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
At Vivid Coffee, every cup starts with a commitment. To people, to planet, and to the future of coffee. We travel to origin to build lasting relationships, pay premiums to producers, and source coffees that are as sustainable as they are delicious. Brew better at home. Subscribe at vividcoffee.com and get ethically sourced coffee delivered to your door. Use code UPTheGreen for 15% off your order. Vivid Coffee, fueling Vermont Green's unbelievable season.
We're an environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint, and when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, it's certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
Twin State Basements is here with waterproofing and foundation repair services, providing lifelong repairs to your basement and foundation. Transform your basement from this to this. A clean working basement, certified, bonded, and insured. Twin State Basement Services has the expertise to address various basement and foundation issues, from sump pump installations to crawl space repairs and foundation replacement. Twin State Basements guarantees a dry, safe, and healthy basement. So if you've got leaks, don't wait. Call Twin State.
We love each other and we love this city and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
At Vivid Coffee, every cup starts with a commitment. To people, to planet, and to the future of coffee. We travel to origin to build lasting relationships, pay premiums to producers, and source coffees that are as sustainable as they are delicious. Brew better at home. Subscribe at vividcoffee.com and get ethically sourced coffee delivered to your door. Use code UPTheGreen for 15% off your order. Vivid Coffee, fueling Vermont Green's unbelievable season.
We're environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint. And when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
We're environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint. And when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
We love each other and we love this city and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
The players are beginning to return to the field to get ready for the second half of the USL2 championship game between Vermont Green FC and Ballard FC at Virtue Field in Burlington, Vermont. David Goss, as well as Matt Montel, on the call for you here on Sports Engine. What a half we had. Almost a miracle. We have not seen a goal. We've gotten inch close, including goal line clearances, big saves, and almost non-existent offside goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I understand that it's, 0-0 right now, but it feels like it's 1-1 just because those chances were so gilt-edged. And it's basically, at this point, neither team can be down on themselves about that they're not at least have a lead or a goal to their name for it. I think they have to stay absolutely focused. There you go, Captain Obvious. But I think going into, the halftime, I can see the managers basically conveying to their team, like, keep doing what you're doing because the chances are coming. And honestly, there should be goals to your name at this point. So I don't think there's a whole lot that necessarily needs to be corrected from either side.
It has been an impressive first half, end-to-end action. We thought two teams would come out and go for it, and we were absolutely right about that. Now the question is who sort of has this composure. We've seen for both teams the starts of the second half be big so far in this playoff run. For this Ballard team in their last game, it was 0-0 at halftime. They went behind in the 50th minute, and then Kosakov came to life with 2 goals in the 58th and the 75th for this squad. In the game before that, Kosakov had a goal in the 47th minute. So it's a Ballard team that normally comes out of the locker room hot.
Well, it's been such an even match, honestly, in my opinion, between the two teams, and I feel like it's almost setting up that once that first goal goes in, we could explode into like a 3-2 scoreline towards the end of this match.
We also wouldn't be shocked if it was more than 45 minutes left to play with the way these two teams have been poised and matched up so far. You can see the quality in both these squads. Division I legends, fully professional players playing back here in the pre-professional ranks. You just see how good these two squads are.
I just got this sneaking suspicion that this is going to end in the full 90, with just a little bit of extra stoppage time. But I got a feeling.
That's just because you're not ready for extra time.
Exactly. Extra time is stressful, David.
It absolutely is, and these are teams that have experience in that stress, especially for this Vermont Green side that have done it, and they've gone all the way to PKs. And it looks like Chris Taylor of Vermont Green is getting ready to make his first change of the game coming out of the halftime whistle, and it will be the national champion winning center forward from Germany in Max Kissel.
That's interesting because he actually hasn't made many halftime subs. He usually waits kind of around like the 60th, 65th minute for it, but I think it's a really positive substitution to make. Kissel is a very different prospect to what Tatavine brings. Kissel will run those channels relentlessly. He makes these big diagonal runs across that back four. It's very difficult to mark and pick up. And that way, you could play these balls over the top into those like quadrants in the final third. He'll get on it, and then he brings up the team, so it gives them a couple seconds to get more green shirts forward.
So a like-for-like change at that center forward position. It'll be the only change for Vermont Green here at halftime. Reminder, these two teams are allowed 7 substitutes in 3 windows with halftime not included. So Chris Taylor using 1 sub but saving that window for this second half. On the flip side, for James Riley, 0 changes coming out of halftime. He was consistently up off the bench the final 15 minutes, trying to calm his team, to help them manage the end of that first half. He got 20 minutes in the locker room to talk to them. I think we'd expect to see something a little different from them in this second half.
I think I would expect a little bit more intensity out of Ballard. I thought they were kind of very measured, and they were, about their game throughout that first half. And I thought they looked dangerous when they actually kind of moved the ball a little bit quicker. They took a little bit more chances playing it forward, and they were rewarded actually with a great chance and some great crosses in there. I think they need to see more of that.
A goal line clearance from Vermont Green in the closing minutes that kept them alive at 0-0 as we are kicked off here in the second half. Vermont Green, and of course their green kits with the white shorts going left to right on your screens here at Virtue Field. Ballard FC, the white kits with the brown stripes and the dark shorts going right to left on your monitors. Stockton Short in goal for this Ballard team. Abba Selim, Z. Memphis, and Christian Engman. The center back pairing with Kai Briscoe at right back and Luke Hammond at left back. Sean Sant and Beto Apollonar, the two holding midfielders behind Rafi Otero for this Ballard squad. And the front attacking three from right to left of Joe Dale, Charlie Kosakov, and Richie Amon, the number 10, who has been the man to watch so far in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that stuck out to me a lot outside of Kosakov in the game versus Flint. And Amon, it's like once he starts to get going, once he starts to really influence the match, it gets very difficult to quiet him up.
On the flip side, Nicholas Herseg stays in goal. Musa Ndiaye and Brandon Marshall, the center back pairing with Victor Akoum at left back and Nathan Simeon at right back. Julian Labordalus and Diego Rived, the holding midfielders behind Zach Zenge. Ian Abbey and Alex Hall, the two wide attackers. Hall starting the game and starting the second half on the right side. Abbey on the left, and the one change there at halftime is Max Kissel. You mentioned Arnaud Tatavine struggling with a little bit of an injury, but it is a big loss to lose those 6 goals and his finishing up top.
Yeah, and I think when Tatavine really shines is when there's a very, a good amount of sustained possession in that final third for it. It's been a little bit too back and forth this match, and it might just not be the one that suits him. For this, I think those quick breaks, those quick counters, Kissel is the right man to have up top.
And you want to have that outlet against a team that's going to press high, because at times you're going to have to go over the top and play into space. As Hall and Hammond get into a battle. Hall, a UW player. Hammond, Seattle University. So two that have gone to battle before and look to do so here once again. Simeon gets things restarted, and Tatavine just coming out of the locker room.
And you can see it. There's a little bit
back
of limp.
to the bench. But what a performance he's put on this season. A hat trick earlier in the postseason as Abbey's in the box. And the referee points to the spot. Marko Marvic right on top of this one. Ian Abbey draws the PK. And Matt, Vermont Green have a chance to draw first blood.
And within less than 5 minutes into the second half, I want to get another look at it, David, just to see. I felt that it was a foul, but I just want to be certain from this angle here. And it looks, like his foot gets, is it an elbow, you think? Maybe a foot just clipped him a little bit. But enough for center ref Mario Maric to make the call.
Briscoe's been living on the edge the whole game. From the first 30 seconds, he's been physical, he's been intense. And from this angle, from behind in live play, it looked much worse than it did on replay.
Sure,
and the
I
referee
agree.
had the same angle that we had in Mario Maric. And now here comes the big opportunity. As a hush falls across Virtue Field, as the sun has set, and we are under the bright lights for the USL 2 Championship. Ballard, 2023 winners, Vermont Green, looking for their first ever title in their 4th season. And who else but Julian Labordalus to step up. He scored in the PK shootout just to get here last week in the semifinals. And now Labordalus against Short, 1v1, to take the lead for Vermont. And he rolls it off the post and in. And Vermont Green take the lead in the national championship at Virtue Field.
And just listen to that crowd, David. Look at it. Absolutely exploding. And what a brilliant finish, too. I'm sure we'll get another look at it. But what I saw was he placed that pretty firm with the inside of his foot. And it almost looked like it was going to hit the post and come back out of the 6. But he hugs the inside, buries it. It's clinical. It's unsavable even if you guess that right. It's a brilliant, brilliant finish from him.
And with Sammy Mewis in the house, a borderline Megan Rapinoe celebration. As we take a look at the highlight, it kisses the inside of the post and rolls in.
And like we were saying earlier, I feel like it's going to take one goal for this game to just kind of explode, and we're going to see more. I can't see it remaining 1-0 throughout the rest of this half.
So last week it was Ballard who scored in the 47th minute. It was a PK in the 48th minute. This time for Labordalus, celebrating in front of the supporters. And as you said, electric in this building. They have been waiting for that goal. They thought they had it in the first half. It was called offside, and now they get the opportunity. They score, and it's Ballard's game to chase here in this second half.
Well, I had been getting kind of text messages at halftime from a lot of people watching the stream or that were in the crowd, and all of them kind of had the same sentiment about being nervous because they felt that it's been a very even match. And granted, there's been a little bit of an edge for the green side in front of net, but Ballard have looked dangerous when they do get into that final third. Their crosses have been good, and also that one chance that just barely didn't make it over the line.
Dale able to win this one back, and the foul will go against Kosakov. He slips there trying to recover that play. James Riley, though, with a hand for his team. And, that penalty kick came so fast. You worried, does it throw off the game plan that James Riley just spent 15, 20 minutes putting in place for this Ballard team as it came before we really saw anything happen?
If the emphasis was to kind of just ride out, maybe get kind of grained into the match a little bit, for 10, 15 minutes for it, sure, that would mess it up. But I have a feeling that he probably was asking for a little bit more intensity and wanted to take the lead. So I think maybe the game plan does still actually stand.
Apollonar floats this one out wide. Amon trying to win this battle with with Simeon. And it will go out for a throw-in favor of Ballard. Ballard has come from behind like they did in their previous match against Flint. They basically gave up a goal at the exact same time in that semifinal, and they came from behind to win 2-0. It was Charlie Kosakov 8 minutes later to score. So keep an eye on that true number 9 up top.
So no strangers to this situation.
The only strangers here are Vermont.
Who
don't know what it's like to take a lead.
Exactly.
Hammond. And what a slide from Simeon to keep it out.
Crucial touch, because if he doesn't get it, too, Amon is in.
You can feel the atmosphere change a little. The temperature perfect for soccer as the sun sets. No humidity. And these teams are going to be able to put it all on the line in this one. Zemenfi's out wide. Briscoe. 1v1 against Abbey. Briscoe gave up the penalty, now trying to earn it back for his team. He goes down and draws the foul.
It's been a fun matchup on that right side. Those two have just been kind of going at it. Abbey's committed a couple different, fouls on Briscoe. Briscoe's kind of beaten him a couple times to get into the final third.
So Akum picks up a yellow card for some of the words to the referee at the end of that one. Only one yellow card shown in that first half somehow, and it was to Richie Amon.
Silly way to get a card, in my opinion.
Especially in a game where it feels like there are more cards left out there.
Exactly.
For these two teams.
You don't want to be riding a yellow regardless, even if it wasn't for an egregious foul at any point.
So a big opportunity coming here for Ballard to answer. It's Amon and Hammond standing over this one. They've taken all the set pieces so far. Hammond runs over it. He will come back to take it. Headed away on the initial ball. Abbey picks it up, and he gets clipped down. And the Vermont Green coaching staff is furious as that is
delayed.
The 12th foul against Briscoe.
Well, it's
like
the foul,
that.
But also Bordelus couldn't take it quickly. He had, I think, the break. He saw Zengi making the run, and that's actually been something they do a lot throughout this season. And they try to break quickly when they have a numerical advantage going forward.
That one over the head of Kissel. Alex Hall, though, wins it back. Hall with Kissel alongside him, is shot and short at full extension. Able to clean it up.
Great goalkeeping, great eyes from short, too, because that was coming through some bodies.
Hall, a quiet first half against a team he's greatly familiar with from his hometown in Seattle.
So one thing about Hall is, especially throughout these playoffs, when we've been watching him specifically, he actually does start off a little bit quiet for 20, 30 minutes sometimes. Not every time, but sometimes. And then something changes, like he just, for whatever reason, something switches in his head, a light, turns on, whatever it is, and then he becomes unplayable.
So a replay of the foul there. It'll be a yellow card in the end to Joe Dale. So now the yellow card's starting to come fast here in this second half as Mario Maric trying to get this match under control. Hall, a massively experienced player, played in the Seattle Sounders Academy, won a national championship with them, a GA Cup, and now playing at UW, one of the best college soccer programs in the nation. Has been a huge part of this playoff run on that right wing. So the fans here at Virtue Field, something to celebrate in this second half. Zenge goes up and challenges. Abbey recovers. Up now to Kissel.
He's onside.
Kissel's onside. He's able to run now. Kissel attacking the two defenders. Taken away, though, by Zemenfis.
And that's kind of the difference that Kissel brings. You can notice it already within the second half. He runs at defenders versus Tatovin likes to kind of play with his back. He loves to actually post up on you. And he's actually very good at rolling the ball across his body. But then he needs somebody to link up with. He doesn't have the pace to kind of run past them.
And we saw that in the first half. Every time he dropped in and won it, as Labordelou shows off his techers, gets taken down in a heap. And there might be a little bit more color in this one. And this time it's going to be to Sean Sant in central midfield.
Well, maybe the goals haven't exploded just yet in the second half, but the cards sure have, David. We are wheeling and dealing now, folks. And Bordelou, he's been getting chopped down like a tree all match.
He's been high volume on the ball. It's led to a high amount of fouls against him. But it always means that he gets a chance on the set piece to take advantage.
And this is a good area. I know it seems a little far out, but he's got all the power you need and all the whip you need. Put that somewhere in a dangerous area between maybe the 6 and the 18, maybe just a little closer to the 6.
He steps off this one so far, so Zach Zenge, second all-time in Vermont Green appearances, second all-time in Vermont Green goals. The Georgetown Hoya steps up to this one. Zenge curls it in. Can't beat the first line of defense. Otero heads it away. Amon now looking to turn up field. He can't get away, but he does earn a foul, and Ballard now can finally take a breath and clear their lines.
Yeah, it's a good job from Amon there. At least draw the foul. If you can't link up and get the counterattack going, draw the foul, get a breath, get your team up the field a bit.
So James Riley getting ready to try and affect this game. He will make his first substitution as he prepares to bring on Omar Yaya. Yaya played with Flint City last year.
And we're hearing
breaking news.
Breaking news, folks.
Reports are that the Vermont has drank all the beer. That the concession stands are out of beer after fans charged the gates at 5:30. The moment they opened, fans were out at 8 a.m. for a 7 p.m. kickoff to start earning their spots in line. It is general admission, first come, first serve, as well as the openings on the outside. And
I should be surprised, but I'm not. Like, if there's three things people love in this state, it's beer, cheese, and maple syrup.
It is one of the many things that Ballard and Vermont Green have in common, is their love for good beer. And it's something that both of them will appreciate. And off the back of this free kick, it's going to be wholesale changes from James Riley's squad. This one headed away. Second chance coming. Long strike, but it's always curling wide.
Yeah, it's a low percentage shot from there, but it's worth taking a chance.
So coming on now is Omar Gray, Andre Filipposian, and Omar Yaya. Omar Gray had an assist for the opening goal in the last game against Ventura County. One of the best players on this team. A little bit of a surprise to not see him start. The 25-year-old played with the Houston Dynamo 2 last year in MLS Next Pro.
You think it could be maybe a case of you get to, around the 60th minute from this point and bring on fresh legs against potentially more tired legs?
As
think, simple as that.
I think you've got the experience as well. So Omar Gray steps in for a guy in Briscoe who's been in a national championship before. Gray now will be a like-for-like change at that right back spot. You see Omar Yaya stepping in for Joe Dale at the right wing spot. And Andre Filibosian, who got called up to the Armenian U21 national team this summer and missed a couple games to go play international soccer, will step into central midfield in place of Sean Sent, who just picked up that yellow card.
Okay. Makes sense then. Because you can only imagine there's going to be many more opportunities to get a second. So,
but what a privilege to be able to bring off the bench a starter, a youth international, as well as a guy in Yaya who played for Flint City last year in some big games. And there he is. Kosakov pops up once again. He's got 4 goals in the last 2 weeks. He has led Ballard in this playoff run, and he has answered Vermont Green here at Virtue Field.
And as I was saying earlier, another fantastic cross, David. I mean, pin perfect that Kosakov just has to flick it on. Doesn't have to necessarily wait and hang in the air. Oh, it's just perfect. It's perfect cross, perfect finish from Kosakov.
And talk about a master stroke from a coach. It's Omar Yaya with his first touch on the cross, on the assist to set up Kosakov, and that is a true fox in the box center forward.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I had, saw coming just a little bit. If one of these crosses just beats maybe the first man, Kosakov has been in that area, just kind of waiting for it.
So it took him 8 minutes to respond to the deficit last week against Flint City. It took him 11 minutes this week. And Kosakov leading from the front once again. He has these two teams knotted at 1-1 with just half an hour left to play in the USL 2 season.
Well, I know it's soccer, but we've got a boxing match at this point. This is punch for punch a little bit.
And now the subs, a chance to start to stretch their legs for this Vermont team. And it looks like off the back of that goal, Vermont trying to answer. They've made a change themselves as Ryan Zelafro has stepped on the field for the Green.
Zelafro, his characteristics, he's very much a kind of box-to-box 8-man. He's got a lot of attacking prowess to his game, but he can do a lot of that kind of defensive dirty work.
So Zelafro, who has started off and on in this playoff run, steps on for Reved to give a different partnership to Labordelous.
He's a little bit more of kind of a shifty dribbler, especially in tight spaces, than I say Reved would be. I think Reved has a lot more defensive characteristics. He can get forward for it, but I just don't know if that's necessarily like his biggest strength on, say, like his pie chart of what his attributes are.
Zelafro, part of the national championship team for UVM this year in his freshman year, will be very, very familiar with a lot of the players on this Ballard squad as he played for the Portland Timbers Academy early on in his youth career. So Chris Taylor and James Riley both putting their cards down here in this second half.
Ballard doing a good job playing one touch to get into a dangerous area again.
Cross comes in for Kosakov. NDA able to come away with it. Second chance though here for Ballard. Filibosian's shot, and it trickles wide.
I like the idea of what he was attempting, the type of finish, but he just didn't get it right. Just got a little bit too over it, I think.
Well, Ballard growing in this game as we take another look at this one. Herseg seemed to have that one mainly covered as NDA with a big switch out of the pressure here. Simeon with some space to charge into. Another UVM player playing here at home. Zenge goes out wide. And Kitzel comes from an offside position trying to shield that one out.
That's unfortunate because that was looking pretty good that was going to end up being a corner kick for them.
Zenge, a little bit of a quiet game for him compared to some of the performances we've seen from one of the Vermont legends.
No, I agree. It's kind of been the same story a little bit for also another big playmaker. Bordelous has been a little bit more involved but he's also been, kind of, I would say that's where a lot of the fouls are coming from, is that he's getting chopped down. He hasn't been able to kind of like beat the player and then get that cultured right foot on there to make those assists or those crosses, switches, link up play, all of that. Kind of same story a little bit we're seeing from Zengi. He hasn't really been able to affect the match like we've been used to.
These two coaches, there is no tomorrow for them. They are both being aggressive with their benches as Ryan Taylor prepares his two next changes. David Ajagbe and Gabe Fernandez, another Seattle native, are going to come on for the Vermont Green in just a moment.
I am going to venture to guess that Ajagbe is going to be coming on for Abbey on the left. That's generally where he's been coming, and he loves to drive at defenders. And Fernandez, I believe, will be coming on for Akum, who's also riding a yellow. Fernandez loves to join the attack. Very good defender, but loves to join into the attack. So I think Chris Taylor's mind is get maybe another body or two forward into that attack.
And you are correct. Victor Akum and Ian Abbey's evening is done. It'll be Fernandez at left back and Ajagbe at left mid. And Ian Abbey drew the penalty kick. It was job done for him over these 65 minutes.
Yeah, he had some moments within that first half especially where I thought he looked really dangerous. He was getting into the box. Just couldn't get like maybe the final product going, but it's been a tough match for both teams, for anybody to necessarily like shine.
Ajagbe preparing to head to the Pacific Northwest tomorrow to begin his season with Portland Pilots, the all-time great college soccer programs, as Amon gets a strike away. So Ajagbe will be very familiar with the Pacific Northwest going forward. And Gabe Fernandez, as I said, a Seattle Sounders Academy player himself, getting an opportunity to play against some of the players he grew up with. Won that Generation Adidas Cup with Alex Hall less than 3 years ago.
Just looking at Ballard's shape right now, there really isn't an option to pass through the middle. They're forcing them to go wide. You can see it's like this pendulum from the back line, and they have to play it back across, and almost the only second option is to play it long and over the top. But right now, there's no option necessarily to pass into the middle of the field. It's all white shirts.
And you see Ajagbe coming a little bit farther inside to try and help give another option over the top as Zengi and Kessel exchange spots, but it's a dangerous turnover now. Kosakov, but he's cut off by NDA. The USL2 Defender of the Year in 2025. Mr. Vermont Green himself as Alex Hall snatching souls here in midfield. Looking for the run of Ajagbe. It's a battle. Ajagbe gets a touch to it, and Kissel now into the box.
Hall picks the hardest pass too, but Ajagbe's got the muscle to get on it.
Headed away at the near post. Fernandez will get to throw it back in here quickly, and Labordeluz has space. Knotted at 1-1 as we enter the final 20 minutes of the final match of the USL2 2025 season. Vermont is trying to do something no team has done in 15 years and go perfect without a loss from start to finish in a USL2 season. Ballard is trying to be just the second team to win a second championship in the USL2 era.
Look at Amon picking up a head of steam here.
Amon charging into the box. He cuts it across. Ooh. It's behind Kosakov. Yaya with the assist. Draws it on the second side. Otero now rotating possession. Yaya here to the end line, and his block crossed by Fernandez.
It's good tracking back from Fernandez, too, because that diagonal ball across is so deadly. And actually, I don't know the name, sorry, but there's somebody floating right there, just in the middle. Number 6. I apologize.
So now it'll be Hammond to go over and take this corner kick. He's been on a lot of the set pieces for this team. Similar to Labordeluz, has sort of gone from sideline to take these opportunities. He's got Amon out wide with him. This is a Ballard team that has been lethal on corner kicks. They scored a hat trick of them in their opening playoff game. Hammond now curls it in. Headed on at the far post, and Omar Gray just couldn't direct it on frame.
If he times his jump just a little bit right, he's unmarked, and he can get that, punch that down into like the lower part of the post. But Ballard have woken up. A little bit of sleep at the wheel, maybe for that first 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, you'd say, but never really counted them out.
They've responded to the goal. They've responded to their coach's directions and the substitutions. James Riley has done all he can to put his team in the driver's seat. Just his second year as head coach with this group. But he talked to us pregame about how excited he is for the future. They've added more and more video analysis, deeper and deeper work that they can do to help players develop their games. As now Jagby trying to put the defense under pressure, and it will be a goal kick coming up.
I'm not sure why he's grabbing the ball and going and assuming that's a corner kick. That's absolutely off of him, but
Zemenfis,
you got to try.
Zemenfis went in on the tackle, put it off at Jagby, and it was always going to go that one way. This is a Ballard club that has continued to grow, and one of the things you look at is you talked about sort of that culture that's built because the rosters have so much changeover. To make a national championship 2 times in a 3-year span is so incredible with how much change there is in these teams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I have to believe that is completely credit to the team that is in charge of the recruiting. Yes, there's definitely that word of mouth from the players talking about you should come to this club during the summer. It's a great club to play for and work for. But the talent ID and the talent scouting from the upper management of Ballard deserves so much credit. You know, you don't just get lucky to get here 2 times in 3 years.
James Riley, a good person to have on the other side of the phone. Wake Forest graduate, 250 appearances plus in Major League Soccer. Played for some of the top USL teams in his long tenured career. As this one's curled towards the far post. And doing the work alongside Sam Zizette, who is as in tune with the Pacific Northwest soccer scene as anyone. Went through the trials as a player himself. There's a slide tackle at the last moment from Simeon. And that one also took a touch off the attacker.
Interesting. I felt that was a corner for Ballard, but yeah, so does the manager.
Omar Yaya coming all the way across the field. Thought he had earned the corner kick. And James Riley is furious on the sideline. But this is the intensity we expected. You can feel it across the building right now.
Well, I think it was simmering would be the word I would use for the first half. It was definitely kind of like on a knife's edge. Now it's sort of exploded a bit. And what a match we've had.
The fans are packed to the gills. We've got fans sitting in the beds of pickup trucks. We've got fans sitting on construction sites. We have fans sitting on track and field equipment, on toilets, anywhere they can, just to get a half view of Vermont Green in a national championship. And the Green now surging forward, and the Bordaloos takes a hit. And Beto Apollonar just puts a kind hand out and says, let me help you up.
A kind hand is a kind way to phrase it, in my opinion. That was an absolute stiff arm check.
And Mario Maric is going to have to decide what he wants to do here. He's coming over to talk to his
We're going to get a replay
official.
of this. Let's take another look. Oh, it's cynical.
And a yellow card's going to be shown to James Riley here on the sideline. Still fuming from the original corner kick. Ballard felt there was a foul in their favor a moment earlier. Apollonar decided I'm going to kill the attack with my teammate down.
Yep.
And James Riley's still upset about that original no call.
Well, maybe that's where, that's part of that 240 fouls that I had seen on the USL2 site. All right, fine. You're not going to give us the call for the foul that Fernandez had slid in. I thought maybe he won the ball. It's too far for me to necessarily see in great detail. Mario didn't feel that was the case, and so I'm going to go ahead and kill the play, Ballard says.
So it did not lead to a card because of, and maybe credit to James Riley for drawing the ire himself and keeping it off his teammates.
Smart play. Good managing.
And Labordaloos back up on his feet, standing over this one. All 11 players are behind the ball to defend for Ballard. They recognize the danger here. Over the top, Ajagbe with the header in the middle. Kissel can't get to it. And Short able to rise above and take it in.
Short, not short, with the ups. Good hands. Way to claim it.
Hammond with an early long ball. Good header down there from Kosakov. NDA is able to fight off Amon and let it roll out for a corner or for a goal kick.
It's going to take a lot, honestly, on pace for pace to beat NDA. He is absolutely rapid, but for this second half especially, I thought maybe Simeon and Amon, it was kind of like it just staled out between the two of them. Simeon couldn't get forward, but Amon couldn't really affect the game. This second half, he has been way more involved.
Yeah, Amon hasn't been as dangerous in this second half. His presence always lurking, though. The ball over the top. Fernandez touch goes negative, and he'll reset the attack.
You notice the average positioning, the space that Fernandez is taking versus, say, what Hakoum was. That goes back to what I was saying is Hakoum is a more defensive-minded player. That's where his best attributes are. Fernandez loves to get forward, and he floats around that halfway line all the time.
Yeah, Hakoum, a natural center back, has taken over that left back spot and did the job. On the end, he had to, but
been a good stalwart when he's been called upon to play as a left back.
But Fernandez, a game changer for this team from that left back spot. Ball played across dangerously. Hall comes back to recover it. Zenge now looking to turn upfield, surrounded by white jerseys. Zenge fights through the contact. Hall now looking to create some space on the edge of the box. Hall works past 3 defenders. Still on the ball, Hall. Can't open up space. And he gets called for a handball as that one popped up off the defender's foot. You see the technical ability there of Alex Hall.
Well, it's very, very mature defending from Ballard. They had sworn, but nobody committed just a very errant foul, a bad foot in. Because if somebody gets that, that's a great opportunity for a kick on goal.
Philipposian, surrounded by green jerseys. Is it out wide to his center back? And the ball in between the lines. The blind ball over the top. It was a 50th minute penalty kick for Labordeluz to put Vermont ahead for the first time to open a game in this playoff run. It was answered within 12 minutes by Charlie Kosakov, his 4th goal of this postseason run.
It's kind of reverted back to what we had seen a little bit, for spurts in the second half, but also that first half. It's a little bit more of a chess match now to get that next opportunity on goal.
Both managers have played some cards off the bench. They both still have substitutions available and windows to do it in if they want to. 7 subs available for these teams. They both have the full complement of 9 players on the bench. Hall plays this through. A Jagby with the strike, and it's saved by Short.
Just snatched at it a little bit, kind of just a little bit too much spin on the shot. It was going to take something pretty firm and strong, maybe a little bit high, because Short had already kind of a little bit gone to ground, but good goalkeeping again. He's been outstanding all night.
Come on now. Surging forward. Kosakov makes the run out wide. 1v1 here with Marshall. All the way across. Apollonar trying to clip it up for his teammate. A little bit too strong, and now some soccer tennis between these two teams. And Hall puts it out. You see Chris Taylor, the SUNY Plattsburgh coach, taking the ferry across the Lake Champlain.
Yes, Lake Champlain.
Every single day to coach. Amon dancing past Zelafro. Amon cuts it back. Can't find a teammate though. Labordeluz, he's pulled from behind, and Philipposian's going to pick up a yellow card off the bench.
But Amon, again, these dangerous runs. He's getting his head down, and he's just building up this head of steam. He's beating his man. Right now, I think he's had the better of Simeon in this second half.
That is amazing. Amon seems to doesn't change pace when he has the ball or doesn't have the ball. And the ability to run
right.
at that speed in possession is rare, and it's Probably why you saw a Seacoast United kid go all the way across the country to play for Jamie Clark at UW.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the yellow card picked up by Philip Ossian. Kosakov just can't complete the passing sequence, and now Hall running at Hammond. His early cross headed away by Engman.
Needs a little bit of support, though, Hall. He's kind of on his own versus two men.
Trying to attack now, Philipposian. Held off. He does keep it alive. Engman will clear it, but only as far as Zelafro.
Yeah, and Zelafro opts to just recycle possession, just keep the ball.
The border loose to Zenge. A Jogby shot! And Short gets in front of it. But David Ajagby, an impact sub so far off the bench.
And that's what Ajagby can do. He can kind of actually come out of nowhere. Sometimes it goes a little bit quiet for there, but it's a great little layoff from Kissel, I believe. And then Ajagby, good shot from him. Just also outstanding goalkeeping from Short.
Kissel all over the field right now. Back presses, loses it. Battling to win it back. And now Otero out wide. Rafi Otero. He was the unsung hero in the regular season. He's elevated to superstar status in the postseason. He's had a quiet game here, but it only takes one moment in the dying minutes to become a hero for the players on these two squads. So we have a regular time winner. Are we headed for 30 more minutes of soccer here at Virtue Field? Green surging forward. Fernandez's cross is blocked off of Omar Gray and out for a throw-in.
I still think this is going to end 2-1.
Both coaches are hoping it's on their side. Jagby continuing to impress. He loses his footing, though. Not able to continue. Simeon, one of the many Montreal representatives in this Vermont Green squad, one of the closest major cities outside of Burlington, just north of the border, and of course a soccer hotbed. We have the Maple Cup game that happens every single year between the winner of League One Quebec
Delicious.
and Vermont Green, and there's a trophy that's in the house today, as Vermont is looking to make it 4 trophies this year if you include the Maple Cup on top of the division and conference championships. Hall, first touch in. Him and Hammond have been battling in this second half. Hammond over the top. Fernandez bumps Yaya. Fernandez comes back and cleans up the mess. Now Zelafro on the half turn. Jagby running into space. Zenge's got a hand out in the middle of the field,
he
begging
was wide
for it.
open. If Jagby, I mean, it's difficult to ask an outside of the foot, but
Jagby now. His cross attempt is blocked up close. Now Zamin Fees comes away with it, and Ballard will try to take a breath. Hectic things between these two teams. We've only got 5 minutes of regulation left in a 1-1 championship game.
yeah, it's getting to be an exhausting end to the match, too. It's back and forth. I'd say Ballard looks a little bit more on the counterattacking side. Green trying to possess a little bit more in that final third, but they're getting the ball nicked off them. And then every time, I thought that Kasakov and Amon have been actually really bright for the Ballard side when they get forward. Kasakov checking in. He's had a couple of those different chances where he flicks it on and Amon gets in behind.
For Ballard, most of their subs left are all defenders. So if James Riley, anything short of just fresh legs or formation change, he's got his attacking pieces on the field. On the flip side for Chris Taylor,
he's got a couple different attacking options. He's got Leibovitz that he can bring on, but I don't think he's going to for Max Kissel because he just came into the second half. But there is the mayor of B-Town, Mr. O'Malley. We may see him if this goes into extra time. I would be shocked if we don't.
If you do not know the story, Owen O'Malley, a Vermont Green original, dominated off the back of the first season at Creighton, got drafted as a Generation Adidas signing for St. Louis, came back to Vermont this year, scored a 103rd minute winner to win the division in regular season at Western Mass at the Lusitano, the Miracle at the Lusitano as it's known. He is a fan favorite. There are t-shirts and banners with his name all over across the 6,000 people who are here.
Pretty sure I've seen bumper stickers on like stop signs and like light posts.
Owen O'Malley has made Burlington his home. The Vermont Green have become the summer destination for soccer players across the country as Fernandez's cross taken down by Short.
And it's going to take something really special to beat Short, in my opinion. Just this performance, this match has just been absolutely outstanding. And a shot from distance like that, like I said, it's going to have to be special.
So it looks like Luke Hammond down with a cramp now as both teams will take a little bit of water here. It's been a long game. It's been a long season. But you could not ask for a better atmosphere. It is right now just below 70 degrees in Burlington, Vermont. 64% humidity. It is soccer weather
Chef's kiss
for these teams.
Honestly, I know that you're not, you don't live here year round for it. I have no idea why the weather has been so perfect here. This is Vermont. We get rain pretty much every other day. I think very similar to Seattle area, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's one of like the rainiest counties or something. So, but yeah, we've been having pretty much picturesque, perfect weather almost every single match. The soccer gods have been kind.
Vermont Green hosting for the third straight week of playoff action here at Virtue Field. They have sold out in minutes every single time. They knocked off the Hudson Hammers 4-1 in the opening game. They followed up that weekend with a Friday-Sunday doubleheader with a 3-2 come-from-behind win over FC Motown. They started off last weekend with a 3-1 extra-time victory against Lionsbridge, coming from behind once again before knocking off Dothan 4-2 in penalty kicks to close things out. This stadium has been rocking from minute one through this minute, that entire playoff run.
And I know that they've had, essentially 5 days roughly to truly rest and recover, go over some tactics, probably some soft training second, third day in, then a little bit more full training going on. But those matches you had just mentioned, especially those last three, were exhausting just to watch alone. And I mean, a lot of them going into extra time, you could tell how taxing it was physically on the team. And I'm curious if maybe that's still kind of lingering a little bit into this match now. They're only human.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they don't seem it, but.
So a little water for both teams. Hammond able to continue. A Jagby now. He lays it up for Zenge. Zenge across. And Engman equal to the danger. On the flip side for Ballard, it's been more straightforward, if you could call it that, for a postseason run. A 6-0 win over Colorado Storm in the opening game. A 2-1 win over local rivals Snohomish, which I know I'm mispronouncing. A 2-1 win over Ventura in the start of the weekend last week. And the 2-1 victory coming from behind against Flint City in a clash of the Titans.
So Vermont won't want to hear this, but that 2-1 call I keep making doesn't seem that far off.
It has been the trend so far for Ballard as we approach the 90th minute. Extra time at the opinion of the referee as Hall now. His cross is deflected. It'll be out for a corner kick. And we've got a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time coming, or we are headed to extra time here in the championship game. The fans are on their feet as Julien Labordelus, the French midfielder, comes over to take this corner kick. You can see the fans just feet away behind the fence, cheering this team on. as confirmation of 5 minutes comes up on the board at midfield. Labordelus drives it all the way through the box. Zenge recovers it, curls it back in. Marshall flicks it on, and Kissel, the national championship goal scorer in NCAA, puts it in. And Vermont Green take a stoppage time lead in the USL2 championship game.
And I thought it was all kind of dead. I thought the initial cross, David, was way too deep. And then it seemed like it was a half attempt from Zenge over there. Too many bodies. I felt like it was going to get cleared. It somehow miraculously gets through. And Kissel, all he has to do is kiss it into the net. And I'm sorry, that was cheesy, but I had to do it.
He is German born, but he is Burlington now to his core. He scored the game-winning goal for the University of Vermont in the NCAA championship to win their first ever national title. And he may have just done it again for the city of Burlington and the state of Vermont.
This deep cross. You see players are coming and putting pressure in it. And it doesn't seem like a great cross from Zenge, but it actually turns out to be brilliant. Dinks it in. And Kissel just poaching that, sniffing that out, then just buries it.
You could not write a better story. We talked about it all week. What if Max Kissel is able to win a second championship? And where things stand right now, he may have just done it. It was a golden goal in college soccer to put it away. No such thing here in the USL2, as both teams now will make some emergency subs to try and see this one out from Vermont. They will go defensive as expected, but what a moment here at Virtue Field.
And I can tell you, Yarda coming on. Yarda is an absolute axe-wielding midfielder. He wins all of his headers almost all the time. He gets in there, he puts in the tackles. He's a big physical presence in there. That is definitely to put some insurance on the last. I'm guessing, there's going to be a little bit of extra stoppage time in here, so it'll be another 4 minutes going in.
On the flip side, Ballard trying to make 2 more changes, try and bring a little bit more. It'll be Isaac Ketchum coming on, as well as Zach Ramsey in this one. It has been toe-to-toe, hard fought since the first minute. We had Ballard with a shot that was cleared off the line to close the first half. We had a monumental save from Stockton Short to rob Vermont Green of the opening goal in that first half. We had the penalty kick. It was matched by Kosakov. And right now we are sitting on a stoppage time winner for the home side, Vermont Green.
Well, if you could imagine 2 heavyweights just kind of boxing it out, duking it out, throwing jabs kind of all 9 rounds so far, landing a couple big ones, but both still on their feet.
Fernandez with the ball up the line. He cannot keep it in. Max Kissel. They always knew he was only going to be a part of this team for the back half of the season. He went back to his native Germany after winning the national title with Vermont. The University of Vermont went over to Germany on a summer tour. He picked up with the team. He came back. This is his 5th appearance. He only has 1 start as he works his way back into full fitness. What a way to make it count.
Well, I remember when I saw the posting, I actually just woke up one morning and I got on Twitter for a second and I saw the post that he had been picked up. It was him and I think Abby. Did you mention that? Sorry, Abby. But when I saw Kissel's name on there and that he was going to be joining the team, my eyes lit up. It was huge pickup halfway into the season.
He came on at halftime in place of the leading goal scorer, but carrying a knock in Onar Tatsavine.
Well, it's funny, that goal for Kissel is very much a Tatsavine goal. Just very good at being in the right place, right time in the box for those little dinks in.
Staying active on the second ball, staying around the game, as now Ballard are going to throw their final lot in. Davis, Mungumba, and Nee Eggman, the brother of center back Christian Eggman, will check in now to try and bring a little bit more energy. These are two of the more senior players on the team. As James Riley just tries to bring some size on the field and use whatever he can here in the dying moments. And a little bit of confusion of who is coming off. It's Beto
It's so
Apollonar.
loud. Sorry, it's just so loud. I don't know if they can actually communicate across the field.
As you just take a look at the stands right now at Virtue Field, they are bouncing. It is electric.
And I mean, it hasn't been just the playoffs. It's just been all season like this with these fans. It feels like they just wait all week for, Sunday or even Wednesday, but they bring the energy.
Friendlies are sold out. Preseason games are sold out. The playoffs have been the hottest ticket in New England. These fans are in love with this team, and this team has paid that love back game in and game out. They are moments away from completing a perfect season and going undefeated.
Can't imagine there's more than another minute, maybe at most, left, but this ball just doesn't seem to have left this left quadrant.
Vermont doing everything they can to kill this game off. As these two teams have put on a show for us here in the final. It's everything you could ask for from a championship game. They were not scared to lose. They both came out to win in the first half and in the second half.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think nobody came to basically play 80 minutes defense and then try to nick like a lucky goal, so to speak. Nobody played like a strictly counterattacking Jose Mourinho side,
These two teams have been the class of the league for a reason. They are here for a reason. They've put it on display. But Ballard right now, their last gasp opportunity to try and stay in this one.
This is dangerous.
Catch him out wide for Amon. Amon 1v1 with Simeon again. He pulls it back in. The shot is blocked. A second opportunity here for Ballard. Philipposian curls it over the top. Nee Engman can't get to it. It's out for a goal kick, and the crowd goes wild.
We're getting up now into the 98th minute. I have a feeling that's got to be time. He's looking at his watch.
A player down here off the ball. It's Yarda, the Norwegian center mid from Drake.
It's like if anybody's going to be fine, it's Yarda.
Just came off the bench a few moments ago to try and see this one out.
I feel like that man was born in glacier water.
Penalty kick to open things up for Labordalus in the 50th. The equalizer from Charlie Kosakov 12 minutes later. And right now, to keep things international, the German Max Kissel is sitting on the winner as we are past the allotted minimum stoppage time, but we are at the referee's judgment here and when he blows that whistle. Amon has it knocked away by Simeon. Ballard doesn't have any time to waste here.
This is going to have to be the last chance for them.
Is there one more in it? Mugumbu came off the bench. Back to Engman. Vermont closing down strong here to not make it easy.
No,
Engman with the big switch. Gray can't keep it in. It goes out, and that is it. In 2025, Vermont is the king of soccer as the Vermont Green win their first ever USL2 title. And green is the color of victory once again in Burlington, Vermont.
And just look at the fans, David. There's the flares. The green flares. Almost every single match from day one, from match one all the way till now.
An atmosphere that many thought you couldn't have in the U.S. You couldn't have around soccer. People didn't know that Burlington was a soccer city. And now from college soccer through to USL2, you got to say Burlington is Soccer City, USA.
Well, I had, been seeing all over the socials, like, accounts, like the show Men in Blazers. And then I've seen a couple other, like, these small, like, YouTube channels not small YouTube channels with, like, a large following making posts about it. And then at one point in this past week, Landon Donovan is sharing, like, some of the footage after, I believe, Will Abbey's goal, his volley, and just kind of, like, impressed with it. I was like, Landon Donovan's impressed? But I get it.
It is electric in this building. Fans lined up at 8:30 a.m. for a 7 p.m. kickoff. There might be more fans here around the stadium without tickets than there are with tickets. It's a city that has fallen in love with the team from day one.
Yeah.
4 years ago, you've been here for the whole run, but this is the cherry on top.
Yeah, I was, you just touched on it from day one. I was actually really surprised because, so I used to actually coach in the area, and I've been living in the area since roughly 2013, and I've been playing in, like, the local men's league and for it, and, like, for me, it always felt like there was something bubbling under the surface, but we only had the UVM teams to kind of follow, and that's only like a short season in the fall, so it's gone. It's like it starts and it's gone before you even know it, and it felt like there was just, everyone was crying out for something more, and it's like, all right, do I want to go all the way down to, Boston for, New England Revolution? We want something more homegrown. And so I think what, Sam and Pat and Matt and everyone involved, what they really saw and understood was that there was something underneath the surface that they could absolutely just explode into, like this club that you see.
We talked about it earlier. If you build it, people will come. Ballard, one of the great clubs in USL2. They battled toe-to-toe the entire day, trying to win their second national title in 3 years. Tip of the cap to them for the performance they put on. But tonight, it is Vermont Green who are going to lift the trophy. We're going to go back to the studio before that trophy lift for a quick moment in Detroit.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf, surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
We love each other and we love this city and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go because I probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
The celebration continues in Vermont as we have a new national champion, Vermont Green FC, with a win here tonight in the death over Ballard FC. Jonathan Turner alongside Ryan Glinski. We'll have the post-game celebration here back at Virtue Field in Burlington, Virginia here in a moment, but my goodness, what a game.
It was unbelievable. That second half, 3 goals, a goal in stoppage time, in the death, and it was just a back and forth game, and it was unbelievable to watch.
Unbelievable. It was a physical game. It wasn't cheap. It was physical. It was fun. Again, the penalty shot here in the 50th minute, and Bordelis finds the back of the net. We find an equalizer in the 62nd minute, right? This ball comes in, a flick off the head of Kosakov. He has been so good in these playoffs. A look there at the watch party, the excitement in Seattle, big time, and then in the death. And, I mean, you can't say enough. It's in the death. It's the kiss of death from none other than Matt Kissel. He also had the kiss of death in stoppage time, extra time in the NCAA National Championship game here back in December. Did it again here tonight. And my goodness, the celebration in Vermont is real.
I don't know if they give Max Kissel like governor of Vermont, mayor of Burlington, but he has won 2 championships for Vermont in the last last 365 days. Of course, doing it for the NCAA D1 team, and now with Vermont Green, and he might have to be the governor.
We'll have to find out. Obviously, there's already a senator, Bernie Sanders.
Or give him the key to the city. Or the key to the city.
The key to the city. Well, we're going to get the celebration continues. Post-game coverage will continue after this. But, the trophies are about to be awarded. I know one of these things is that someone has to lose. Someone has to win. Ballard put up a good fight.
Yeah, they absolutely did all season long. They used their experience from a couple years ago to the championship throughout this run, and that round of 32 loss last year really fueled them this entire season. Hard fought from Ballard all season long. They fought back against Flint City last game to win, and then in this game they were able to equalize it, and then in the end, Vermont Green able to get it done.
Yeah, again, this was an epic finish. I mean, we saw it, over 5,000 plus people in attendance. We saw it here on Sports Vision, over 17,000 people watching this game across the country. One of the highest I've met and viewed USL2 games in history, and we are glad that you had a chance to watch it here tonight. But we're going to send it back out now to Virtue Stadium where, hey, they're celebrating. Celebration will continue here for much of the rest of the night.
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.
We're an environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint, and when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
Under the lights at Virtue Field, it was a show for the ages as Vermont Green and Ballard FC battled toe-to-toe through 90 minutes before the stoppage time winner for Max Kissel, the man of the moment in Burlington, and what a game it was. The fans are partying in Burlington with their heroes, but you still have to give a big tip of the cap to this Ballard FC squad as our refereeing crew, Mario Maric, Sam Cornrow, Justin Lopez, and Jonathan Luck, get their medals. What a season for Ballard to put together 2 title runs in a 3-year span with only 3 players remaining. Just shows the depth and culture of this Ballard club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just looking at like kind of the expressions and the body language on them right now, and you can see how invested they are, and that just speaks volumes to why they've had so much success like since their inception, and then them leading up to this season for it. I mean, they left everything out there on the field. They played a great match. And honestly, it was still kind of on a knife's edge. I would say, and I could be wrong, but I would say that Green had a little bit of an edge in front of goal. Just a little bit, nothing drastic for it. But Ballard, especially that kind of link up that we would see between Kasakov and Amon going forward in that second half, it looked like at any point, if there's just a slight error, Ballard could have taken the lead. They could have won this match. And I feel like Green just stole it from the death potentially, because if it goes into extra time, you don't know what's going to happen at that point. And I honestly back the experience of Ballard to get it over the line at that point.
You could argue Richie Amon was the best player in this game, especially over the first 45 minutes. Charlie Koskov, 4 goals and an assist in the last 3 games across the last week. As you said, Hammond and Briscoe brought into the starting lineup, battling it out. Christian Engman probably in the USL Defender of the Year running alongside Musa Ende. There is a ton of talent. There's a ton to love for this Ballard team. And what was beautiful about this matchup was they were 2 clubs that have been built the same way. Yeah. Community-based, community-driven, and they have fans that are clamoring to be a part of what they have built, and they are answering the call every step of the way.
Yeah, I think sometimes you could be guilty as a club to get a little bit too lofty in your ambitions. It's not that you don't want to have ambition, but you see too far ahead on like what your goal is instead of kind of building from the ground up. You know, understanding, having that community, having that fan base for growing it organically from the ground up. And then once you have that established, you have all that foundation, and then you can really carry on. And I honestly will not be surprised at all if we continue to see Ballard pushing and pushing and pushing seasons moving forward deep into the playoffs. And I got a feeling we're going to see him here again.
You saw James Riley there, the head coach with his daughter stepping over, and you just see the transfer of knowledge and passion of a great professional in James Riley, Lamar Nagel, who played up top with Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey in his Sounders days. And they said, we want to start a USL2 team for the locals, for players here to be able to play and push themselves to the highest level. They've pushed players into pro ranks. They've made better soccer players and better people with this team, and they have become the heartbeat of the community. And Salmon Bay FC has done that as well. And as you said, we won't be surprised to see Ballard back here in the future. I don't think we'd be shocked to see Ballard against Vermont sometime in the future as well. 2 pillars of the league growing on opposite sides of the country.
It could potentially grow into like friendly-ish. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. Rivalry throughout the years with both these clubs, because I think now they also have what we talked about a little bit throughout that match was that player attraction. Mm-hmm. So the recruiting becomes a little bit easier because players know they want to spend their summers with clubs like Vermont Grand FC and Ballard. You know, if they want to stay sharp, if they want to be competitive, and they want to potentially win titles, they're going to be thinking about these clubs specifically.
And now Vermont Green FC prepare to receive their medals and their trophies. They won the Maple Cup. They won the Northeast Division. They won the Eastern Conference. And Julien Labordelus, the player of the game. He had the penalty kick goal. He has been a staple for this team, match in and match out.
Yeah, he was very brave throughout this match, I would say. You know, he was taking a lot of heat throughout the match, getting fouled a lot, but it was because he was willing to take on players, try to dribble past them, create. He was effective throughout the match. I think it was honestly, actually, as I say, effective, but it wasn't his most. We've seen some incredible performances out of this player throughout the season, and this was probably the quietest, but he was the most effective, I feel like, on the field tonight.
Playing in that number 6 role, as you said, absorbing pressure like a sponge, sitting on all the free kicks, and he kissed that penalty kick in off the post to take the lead in that second half. UVM national champions off the back of Nicholas Urseg, Nathan Simeone, and Max Kissel, and they all did it once again for the city of Burlington and the state of Vermont.
And I like that Leibovitz is kind of leading the line. He doesn't necessarily get a ton of minutes, but when he has been called upon, he gets goals. But he's one of those kind of players that you definitely want in the locker room. Adds that really positive energy. He's a local lad. He's kind of like an unofficial captain. And yeah, it's fitting to have him kind of lead the line because he's been with us for a while now.
Free advertising for the Soccer Post in Burlington. If you're in Burlington, the only place in person to buy a Vermont Green jersey is in his store, and he has hung around in the local area and gets a chance to lead his team down the line for a winner's medal as USL2 champions for this Vermont Green side. As you see many of the other pieces, Brandon Marshall is going to be the next Musa NDA. You can see it in the way he plays.
Yeah.
He's the staple of this team going forward. Herseg, of course, coming over to play for University of Vermont. There are so many great stories in this team.
Yeah, I can only hope that a lot of this team does stick around as much as they, physically can. They might get called upon to another level.
Yep.
I mean, we have to remember that too about
this
the
is
USL
pre-professional.
This is pre-professional, and if you perform at this level, you exceed like the expectations, the standards almost that are, kind of the baselines. Well, there's going to be more eyeballs on you, and so. Granted, yes, I would love to just see this team play consistently moving forward, but I care about their careers.
You hear the crowd react as Zach Zenge, number 2 all-time in appearances, accepts his medal, and Musa Ndiaye, his 50th appearance today, the all-time leader in appearances in Vermont Green history since day one. And he and Zach Zenge are going to get a chance to do something no one else has ever done in the state of Vermont, and that is to lift a USL2 trophy. Chris Taylor, the head coach, what a year he's had.
His first year.
It's only up from here.
It's kind of funny, honestly. There's some nostalgia, I guess, brewing in my head right now because I remember when I had gone to get a licensure, like the D license, I believe. Chris Taylor was in the class, and that was a long time ago. Like, that was at the very beginning.
And Chris Taylor now maybe has surpassed you a little in the coaching ranks. Yeah. Musa Ndiaye and Zach Zenge, the all-time leader in appearances, will lift the trophy for the first time ever. Vermont Green are USL2 national champions. Virtue Field cannot hold every fan who wanted to be a part of this in Burlington, Vermont. Matt, it's hard to say so quickly, but what do you think this moment means to Burlington, to Vermont Green, and to the state of Vermont?
I think it just adds such a high-level degree of pride. I think Burlingtonians take a lot of pride in their city, but we didn't, on the sports side, we didn't really have too much to claim as we had UVM. We have UVM. And UVM has done some great things for us. And the men's team, they won the national title. That was incredible. But to have a club that was just created from the ground up, something with the vision and the values and its entire mission statement that speaks very much to the community, I think is what makes it so special. And that's where all that pride that I can see coming from.
It's something special to bring a community together like this as they charge the field. As we have come to learn is the way in Vermont. 5 playoff games in a row. 5 sellouts within a minute. 5 times Vermont Green has come out on top, come from behind wins, penalty kick shootouts, and in the final game, a touch of class from the man of the moment, Max Kissel, in stoppage time to get his team over the line, and it is going to be a party tonight in Burlington, Vermont. We saw the tifo for the walkout. Bernabeu referencing to the Bernabeu in Spain. And Bernie Sanders, the Vermont senator, who has become so closely connected with this team. There are soccer personalities from around the world, as you said, watching from afar. But the key has been the Vermont community latching on to this team, connecting to this team, and helping push things to a higher and higher level. And what a capstone to the season here. Labordelou and Kissel with the goals, and an unbelievable final, and what a moment. And you could just feel the energy and chill still in this building.
Well, after what we're seeing on the field, too, like all of the fans, especially kids, rushing the field to the players is something very common almost at the end of every match. And, well, it's been an undefeated season, so that's been happening every single time.
For the first time ever since 2010, an undefeated season, no losses for Vermont. Those kids might be future Vermont Green players. They will look up to these. There'll be a statue outside for Max Kissel. But for this 2025 Vermont Green side, they started the year with a goal, and they finish it with a kiss of quality from Max Kissel as they are national champions in USL2. For myself, David Goss, and Max Montel, we are heading back now to Michigan to close things off with our post-game show.
Thank you, guys. Again, the celebration will continue on here throughout much of that. Hopefully they found a way to restock the beer there in Vermont, as we heard that there was no beer in that second half. So
it's necessary. They got to have it.
Absolutely. I mean, again, this game had everything you could possibly want, right? You had two very, very good teams, a team that had been here before and won it in 23, a team that had never been here before, and a chance to get their first ever championship. They did that here tonight. They did it leaning on their best players and leaning on players that know how to make big plays in big moments.
Yeah, they absolutely did that. And Labardelou's able to score the PK, and then the super sub, the man of the town, Kissel, gets it done. But it was just a whole team effort. And let's not forget that in the first half, with the clearances off the line and defending so well. So, job well done to Vermont.
That it was. A phenomenal season for the USL League 2. We'll take a look here at some of the highlights from this game. And you know, again, when we talk about this matchup, and so from the very get-go, this game had this unbelievable feeling where you're watching balls go in the back, and then that offsides is called, and then after that goal is nullified. We saw a PK, and I know the potentiality of that PK and what maybe, hey, was it a PK or not a PK? I know we looked at that here a couple of times, but again, that ball goes in the back of net in the 50th minute from the borderless, and then the equalizer coming in, in the 62nd, 63rd minute, from Kosakov, who's been so good here in the postseason for Ballard FC. Again, there's a look right there at the penalty. And then here is the finish from the borderless. And again, you just can't say enough about, again, 6,000 people in this stadium, right? And he's able to stand up and make that play in that moment, and this ball in the back of the net from Kosakov in that 62nd minute.
Yeah, and that's a pressure penalty, gets it done, but back to the Kosakov goal. That's phenomenal. He's been the guy all season, or all playoff long, and then Kissel just sneaks through. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication from the back line there of Ballard, and Kissel's able to squirt through, get the goal, get the game-winning goal, just like he did in the college season, and just give this guy the key to the city.
And And we saw at the end there, the fans were passing the trophy around. We were just talking about this, right? You know, I don't think I've seen in a game of this magnitude where the trophy is put into the stands, right? It just goes to show you, one, how much faith this team has in their fans, and then number two, how much this fan base actually means to this team. And it's an unbelievable feeling, I would imagine, for everybody involved.
I'm surprised no one just took off with it and ran with it. They might not be allowed, but again, you know, the smaller league teams, they're based around the community, and it's so great to see that these teams, you know, share that success that they just had onto the field with the fans, passing the trophy around. You know, you don't see that in major sports, but, you know, such a community-based team, the city of Burlington, anyone in and around Vermont, that's just wonderful to see them share that with their fans.
Absolutely. 143 teams started this season wanting to hoist that trophy at the end here on August 2nd, and ultimately only one got to do that. It's Vermont Green. They win here tonight by a final score of 2-1. And we want to thank our entire production crew back in Vermont, as well as here in our studios in Shelby Township, Michigan. That's Ryan Glinsky. I'm Jonathan Turner. We appreciate you stopping by and being part of this entire broadcast here this evening. That is it. The USL League 2 season has come to an end, and the Vermont Green can call themselves national champions. So from all of us here at Premier Media Group and the National Soccer Network, have a great rest of your weekend. And so long here, and congratulations once again to Vermont Green. You're the 2025 USL League 2 national champions.
We love each other, and we love this city, and we love this club. It's everything.
I just make sure that my voice is good to go, because probably only got a half to use it.
We used to tell people in the supporter section, go hard or don't be here, right?
Lots of chanting, lots of loudness.
It's electric. It's loud. It's exciting.
195 days they waited. This was a glorious victory at home.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf, surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother drunken change.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I made the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
I am the sauce.
Who brought the sauce?
I brought the sauce.
Who made the sauce?
I got the sauce.
What's in the sauce?
Human nature is a master at making a big mess. Thankfully, nature is powerful enough to save us from ourselves. 7th generation Safer Choice certified dish formula helps remove stuck-on food with one unstoppable pack. That's the power of 7th generation.